Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well, the hits keep coming for the Sacramento Kings, which each game that goes by, it hurts more and more to see that the guy that we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, the guy, the franchise player, the guy that can lead us to the promised land, we gave away. Tyrese Haliburton. If you're tired of talking about Tyrese today, sorry, because that's where we're going to start off. You're listening to the Drive Guys, Drapes and Jay here. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have an in-depth discussion about Tyrese Haliburton and what we saw last night. What we saw from the Indiana Pacers, who are now, according to Shams Charania, a destination team. And there's only one reason why. It's not because of Rick Carlisle, not because of Pascal Siakam, Pat McAfee. It's because of one Tyrese Haliburton. And as I'm driving into the show today, Jay behind the boards there, I'm listening to Sirius XM radio. Termini and Johnson, and we'll have Eddie Johnson on coming up on Friday. Former Sacramento King, Phoenix Suns legend, Eddie Johnson, Seattle Supersonic. But they couldn't have the conversation about Tyrese Haliburton without bringing up Sacramento and crapping on the organization. Now, they were really high on the fan base here. Said our fan base here in Sacramento a lot like Indiana. But the difference is, according to Termini, one organization is run the right way, the other isn't. And so I start off the show by saying, with each game Tyrese Haliburton plays, it makes me, as a Kings fan, Kings employee, feel worse and worse. Tyrese is my guy. No doubt about it. I root for him. I wanted him to have success. But we just spent the entire offseason so far, the last 3 months here on the Drive Guys, talking about the Kings need a guy. Who's our franchise player? Who's the guy who's the sun that everything orbits around? Well, we had him. His name was Tyrese Haliburton. If you've been living under a rock the last 12, 24 hours, I'm going to refresh you on what Tyrese Haliburton did yesterday in game number 4 against the New York Knicks. A game in which kind of a must-win for both teams. If you're the Knicks, you're not trying to go down 3-1. And if you're the Pacers, you're not trying to give back home court advantage. Here's what Tyrese Haliburton did. 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 0 turnovers. First time that stat line has been registered in NBA history. 0 turnovers. And so you may be a Tyrese Haliburton hater. You may be tired of talking about Tyrese Haliburton. But this might be one of those trades where we look back on and say, damn, what the hell were we thinking? I don't know. Maybe we're already there right now, Sacramento. Hit me up, 916-339-1140. Maybe we're already at the point where we have buyer's remorse. We have regrets about making that trade. And I'll be honest, maybe I didn't see Tyrese becoming this great, but he had greatness written on him. Tyrese Haliburton is on the verge of putting together a Hall of Fame career, Sacramento. And coming up in a couple of hours, we're going to look back at some of the moves Monte McNair made, Vlade Divac, whoever was running the show. If you could have one do-over, whether it's a trade, missing out on drafting the guy, free agent signing, nixing the trade, if you could have one do-over, what would it be? And might we want to revisit the Haliburton-Sabonis trade? Maybe it's not passing on Luka. Maybe it's not trading away De'Aaron Fox, firing Mike Brown. But if you had one do-over Sacramento Kings fan base, what is it that you would want? We're going to jump into that coming up in just a little bit. We also got to get into the California Classic. Just call it the Golden State Warriors Invitational right now, because Sacramento ain't going to be a part of it this year. I got to weigh in on that coming up in just a little bit, because when that press release came out, I thought to myself, what the hell is happening? Your boy was prepared to call a game or two at G1C. I was prepared to pick up an extra paycheck. Now I hear ain't no California Classic here in Sacramento, taking money out of my damn pocket, Jay. These kids are expensive. Trips are expensive. And so I'm feeling a certain way about that. We got that coming up.
Chicken.
I know, right? My chicken is being cut. I'm telling you. So
more money.
I know a lot of fans are upset about that. We'll dive into that coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. But I want to tell you about Tyrese Haliburton. And here's the thing about him. Ignore the 32, 15, and 12 and 0 turnovers, Jay. Ignore that. Those just numbers on the paper as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking about the intangibles that Tyrese Haliburton has. A guy that can galvanize the fan base. A guy that can have celebrities showing up. I'm talking about Pat McAfee. You had Triple H from wrestling there. How many times, Jay, have we talked on this show about what constitutes a superstar? To me, a superstar is somebody that crosses over, isn't just about basketball, is recognized in other areas. People outside of basketball know who he is. That's what Tyrese Haliburton is becoming right now, Jay.
Yeah, he's a social influencer.
He really is.
As much as he is a ball player, all-star, dream team member, gold medalist. Looks like he's going to be heading to his first finals. He is a social influencer. People look to him for other things outside of his 9-to-5, his profession, right? And so totally on board with you. You hurt my heart already, Drapes. I mean, it's 2:08, man. We just started.
Because here's the Jay. Now you see, this is my conundrum, to use a big word here on the Drive, guys.
Spell it.
CONU drum. Conundrum.
I take it.
Conundrum. Tyrese is so likable. He was riding and dying for Sacramento. He wanted to be here. He wanted to stay here. So trading him hurt. But now seeing him succeed also hurts. It's like the girl you dated in high school, Jay. Yeah, look at, I see you shaking your head.
Why are you going there, man?
Because it's the girl you dated in high school. You get in college, you got all these new co-eds and everything, and you're like, nah, I'm on to this. I'm doing this now. I'm in college now. I'm at Sac State. I'm at UC Davis, Stanford, Cal. When the girl you had in high school was just scratching the surface of who she could be.
Right.
You know what the girl that you had in high school did, Jay? You know what she did? She went to UCLA.
Oof.
She went to USC.
Okay.
And you know what they saying down there about her? Damn, look at her. You had her, fam. You had her. But you thought you wanted something better. And in the short term, you got it. But now, UCLA, USC, Michigan State, whatever college she went to, they're seeing that, dang, she's nice. She's the one.
Dang.
You like that?
Yeah, dude, because it's real. It's real. Because it is
It's
real.
like, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I went to UC Irvine and she went to UCLA. We're on two different levels.
Two different
no
levels
disrespect
now.
to UC Irvine or UCLA.
You know how it is, Jay. It's, you got the neighborhood girl you went to school with, the local school with.
Yes, sir.
Then they get out in the big world. You're like, oh, look at all this. This is nice. This is what I want. But she was the one right there.
She had it all.
She had to glow up.
Yeah.
And you didn't. We
She
didn't.
was a
recognize
butterfly
that.
in waiting.
And that's what Tyrese Haliburton is. And the thing about Tyrese, because I said throw away the numbers, galvanizing the fan base, impacting the Pacers culture, got him on the verge of finals. You got celebrities turning out. You're performing on the highest of levels in front of Spike Lee against his Knicks and saying, take that. The swag. This is stuff that's not showing up in the box score I'm talking about, Jay. The confidence, the swagger, the cojones, if you will. This is the guy we've been wanting. This is the guy we're asking to have here in Sacramento. Tyrese Haliburton is a franchise changer, ladies and gentlemen. And as happy as I am for him and all his success, I'm a little salty because he should have been doing that in a Kings uniform. I know Indiana is a basketball hotbed, ladies and gentlemen. I know they got Jalen Rose, Chris Mullin, Reggie Miller, McGinnis, however far back you want to go, Rick Smits,
Travis Best.
But you can't tell me that Indiana is a better basketball town than Sacramento. All Indiana is Sacramento Midwest, ladies and gentlemen. Tyrese Haliburton went from one fan base that loved him to another that loved him. The only difference is the Pacers appreciate him and said, he's the guy we want to build around. Maybe we wanted to keep Tyrese. Maybe instead we wanted to trade De'Aaron Fox, depending on who you talk to. But when I talk about do-overs, and we're going to get into that coming up in a little bit, Jay, that might be one of them right there. Because here's why. Tyrese Haliburton is just scratching the surface. Tyrese Haliburton for the next 10 years is going to be an elite point guard, an elite floor general, an elite culture setter, a guy that we need. This Tyrese is the type that changes an organization. And we let him go, Jay. We let him go. I know.
Starting off on a sad story today, man.
My day has been sad, big fella. I've had a sad day. I don't want to get into personal stuff, but I'm kind of down in the dumps. And so I'm unloading everything.
We're going to uplift you here, man. We got to uplift you. And you start this way?
I know.
If I knew I'd have brought you some leather beads or something, right? Man. You gotta let me know, man.
I need some ice cream, a little Starbucks. I need something to lift me up. But, Jay, we got an interesting segment. You and I were talking about this earlier. Tyrese Haliburton put up historic numbers last night. And I've come to the realization that if I'm starting a team, one of my first calls is to the Haliburton family. Come to Sacramento. We need you. Has Tyrese Haliburton surpassed some current Hall of Fame level talent in terms of top point guard in the league? We're going to dive into that next. It's the Drive Guys. 916-339-1140. You're rocking with Drapes and Jay.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Back here on Sacktown Sports 1140, it's the Drive Guys, Drapes and Jay. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll dive into the California Classic and why is the Sacramento Kings event an event we birth? Not in Sacramento this year. We're not even a part of it this year. We're going to get into that coming up at 3 o'clock. I got some thoughts on that. Got some new information also on that about why the Kings will not be a part of the California Classic. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. But back to the top story of the day in the world of sports, especially in the NBA. The Indiana Pacers on the verge of making it to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years. 2000 was the last time, I believe, the Pacers were in the finals. And they're doing it on the back of one Tyrese Haliburton. I ran down the stat line, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers. First player in NBA history with that stat line. Also had 4 steals, mind you. I'll throw that out there. Pascal Siakam had 30 points. Coming into this series against the New York Knicks, Jay, I think a lot of people would have taken Jalen Brunson ahead of Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah, I think so too.
But coming out of this series, I think Tyrese Haliburton has surpassed a lot of people. So I guess the question I want to get into right now with our listeners and you, of course, and our texters and YouTubers out there, who are you taking ahead of Tyrese Haliburton right now if you're building a team at point guard? Who are you taking at point guard ahead of Tyrese Haliburton? At this moment, building your team for the next 10 years, who are you taking? Now, Jay, coming into the playoffs, might have said Brunson, John Morant.
Before you name the names,
Okay.
would you, ballpark figure, just throw it out there, what would you have picked Hallie to be on the point guard list?
Probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Coming in. Yeah, coming in.
There you go.
Where's he at right now? And I don't want us to be, and real quick, Jay, this isn't about, a slave to what's happening now or, prisoner of the moment and all that. I'm saying what I've seen, I've amended and adjusted where I think this guy should be.
I agree. I asked you that because I think we're right in the same boat, 6 or 7. If you would have said prior to this playoff run, and maybe even prior to the Knicks series, because the Knicks series to me has changed my mind as well. I would probably have said 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you who I would have thought prior before where I say he is now.
Go ahead. Who you got?
All right. I think Luka would be there.
Yep.
Point guard, right? I would have said Jalen Brunson would have been in front of him.
Yeah.
I probably, SGA for sure, because I think SGA is probably the best point guard in the league. I might have said Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm missing somebody else.
Trae Young? Nah.
I think I would have said they're on the same level.
Okay.
I'd probably say to him, LaMelo, Trae.
Okay.
Right all on the same level. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say they're on the same level. Steph,
Yeah, Steph.
For sure.
Got to go with Steph.
That might be
Tyrese
it.
Maxey in Philly.
Oh, I forgot about Ty Maxey. And Maxey too. Okay. Yeah, I probably would have said Maxey or Haliburton they're right there. Yeah. They're literally on the same level. You forget about Ty because Philadelphia's been done for a while. Right. But Maxey's he is a boss. He is a beast. He is a baller. Yeah. The interesting one, which I know people want to talk about, is De'Aaron. Where would you have had prior to this playoff push? Where would you have had Ty and De'Aaron together? Would they be neck and neck? Would one be above the other? It'd be a great conversation. Yeah. Of course, Kyrie's got to be in that conversation as well because it's Kyrie. That probably is it. If I'm thinking point guard, I'm a dang guy. He's a little long in the tooth, but I think he deserves to be in that conversation too. For me, that's it. That's it, Drake.
That's it.
So that was 9.
He's top 10. Probably.
He's top 10 for sure. Yeah. I would have said easily top 10, but now let's talk and decipher where he's at.
Where he really is.
For sure.
Right now.
Yes, sir.
Let's go down the list. 916-339-1140. You can weigh in on this because I see Campio is already out there saying, I take Haliburton over Luka because Haliburton does play defense. So he got him over Luka. I'll give you my list ahead of Tyrese Haliburton. SGA. And SGA is a point guard. Campio asked that question.
Yes, he is.
SGA is a point guard.
For sure. You know who we were forgetting?
Who?
Before I cut you off? Cade Cunningham.
I thought about Cade.
He's a point guard,
He's a point guard. On paper. He's a point guard. He's a point guard.
Throwing it out there.
That's a good one to throw out. I'm saying right now, going forward.
Jamal Murray?
No.
Okay.
Nah. SGA, Luka, that's the list. That's it, Jay. No, don't look at me. All right, Drake. That's it.
It was a little dead air, so I'm just making sure you were still alive over there.
I think Tyrese Haliburton has vaulted himself into a top 3, 4, 5 at worst. Like the only guy I would take over Tyrese right now that you mentioned is Cade Cunningham. Size, can get to his spots, makes teammates better.
And that's, remember, not for next year. This is if you're building for the next decade, point guard you would like to have.
Yes.
So he's 3.
In my opinion, because Luka's still young enough.
Oh, yeah.
Shai's still young enough. Those guys are still young enough. But the thing about Tyrese, and we could talk about De'Aaron Fox because 916 says, I still have Fox ahead of Hallie. And honestly, I like De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a fantastic player. But Haliburton has the intangibles you need as a leader of a franchise that I don't think De'Aaron showed here in Sacramento. You know what a good leader is, Jay? A good leader, I'm going to like it. I'm king of analogies today. I'm going with the analogy.
A leader is a person that would have told you, take the young lady who's in the cocoon who's going to be a butterfly. That's a leader.
Exactly. The leader is the guy driving the bus. You got young Johnny going off to pre-K kindergarten, and you got Tyrese Haliburton driving one bus, De'Aaron Fox driving another. All the kids want to hop on Tyrese Haliburton's bus. He's the fun guy. He's the guy that's going to buy us ice cream at the end of the day. He's the guy that makes all the green lights, doesn't stop in traffic. That's who Tyrese Haliburton is for the Indiana Pacers franchise. He's the bus driver that everybody wants to follow. And that's what you need from a leader. I don't know if we ever saw that from De'Aaron in his time here in Sacramento. De'Aaron put up stats, but did he galvanize the players around him? Did they look at him and say, he's our guy, we're following his lead out there?
Honestly, for me, I'd say no. And that was one of my pet peeves when it came to De'Aaron. I was vocal in the form of three things. I think when you have a star, he has to be one of two things. He has to be a Rottweiler, got to be a dog.
Yep.
And or he's got to be a leader. I'm not sure De'Aaron is either. And it's no disrespect to him because you can only make up who your DNA. We can't rewrite our own DNA.
Right.
We're blessed with our own DNA. He's a hell of a ball player. But I'm not sure he was a leader to the sense of the leader, not one of the leaders, but the leader. Right. And I thought he was always a dog that if provoked, he would turn into a dog. But he never was for analogy, talking about jumping on the school bus, he never was, when you was riding bikes in the neighborhood, the dog that got off the leash and you had to run from.
Ooh.
He was never that. He was the one that you had to walk by on your way home and you see him.
You got to jump out
at him. Yeah. And so that's number one for me. And then the second part about De'Aaron was, I always felt, and the league is this way. A lot of people can say Steph Curry is this. A lot of people can say SGA is this. A lot of people could say Tyrese is a little bit of this. Jalen Brunson is definitely this. Point guards in our league now, Drapes, they are, and I said this to Whitey when you weren't here, they are the stars of our league at this point. It feels that way. As much as we're looking for 3-and-D guys, long athleticism, I think the reason why we're consistently, meaning the league is consistently looking for those guys is because there's not a plethora of those guys.
Right.
We're not looking for point guards. We got good point guards where we've already named, we haven't talked about Darius Garland.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about, Colin Sexton. There are some. Kobe White has an upside. There are some very good point guards, and then there are great ones. And that for me was, if we're gonna have a point guard, I need my point guard to be great and an elite point guard. I never thought De'Aaron was an elite guy at his position. He's an elite guy for the league. But not for his position.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. We want to get into that a little bit more. We want to hear from you also. Who are you taking ahead of Tyrese Haliburton if you're building your team with a point guard right now? I see some of you guys on the YouTube and text line are weighing in. You can also call up Drapes and Jay, 916-339-1140. It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. What's going on, Chad, for Chrysler's Employee Pricing Plus event?
If you've been struggling to find the right Ram heavy duty that fits within your budget, the search is over with Hoblet's Employee Pricing Plus event, where we give you the employee price and then take even more off. Right now, save up to 10% off MSRP on brand new 2025 Ram heavy duty 2500s and 3500s. Don't miss your chance to save big like the Employee of the Month at Hoblet Dodge.
And you're always one of the top Ram truck dealers in the entire nation.
It's true. And I think it boils down to our huge selection of hard-to-find Ram heavy duties with over 300 available and our award-winning customer service.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com.
10% toll net savings on select new 2025 Ram 3500 Laramie after 1,500 factory rebates and 9,075 dealer discount, including employee pricing for all. Rebates include $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. And Hoblet discount between $7,100 and $9,075, depending on trim level, for a total of 10% off MSRP. Aid of this net savings. Sample VIN 02043. See dealer for details.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino. With over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
The most combination points, rebounds, assists, steals with no turnovers in a game ever. Ever. What is that? Did you know that? And what is that like to do that?
I mean, no, I didn't know that. I feel like we making up stats at some point to make me look better. But I think I'm just trying to play the right way, man. I just want to impact winning.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
That was Tyrese Haliburton after his historic performance, leading the Pacers to a 130-121 win over the Knicks last night. They're up 3-1 in their best-of-7 series. Game number 5 tomorrow at Madison Square Garden. Tonight we got game number, 5 of OKC, Minnesota, back in OKC. The Thunder looking to close out the Timberwolves tonight. But, Jay, right before the break, we were talking about where would you rank Tyrese Haliburton. Who would you have ahead of Tyrese Haliburton in the point guard hierarchy if you're building a franchise going forward? Somebody from the 916 says Cade and Shea, that's it. Nobody's really saying Steph Curry. Is it just because of his age?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. If we're talking about the next 2 years, then you take Steph. But if we're talking about the next decade, yeah, Steph's not there. Unless Steph came out today, I know I saw him at restaurant or something a couple days ago, yesterday, whatever. If he came out, I was like, yeah, I'm playing next 10 years. I might think about it. Because one thing about it is shooting's going to be forever.
Right.
How many times have you seen you go out and see an OG shooting and you're like, man, he's still putting it up like that?
Yeah.
And technology. But I think if we're talking about 10, for me, it's Luka, it's SGA, and I'd probably go Cade Cunningham. But when I take a step back and look at it, and this, I want to make sure I put this out there. My mind tells me Cade Cunningham. But if we're factoring everything that you've talked about, Drake, which is the star quality, the value, what comes with it, being, Tyrese has the quality, and I'm not saying Cade doesn't, but we've seen Tyrese so far have the star quality, the social influencer quality is what I call it, where he can transition not only to being a basketball player, but being a host on America, or a competitor on America's Got Talent, or Dancing with the Stars. You can see him cross over and get a cameo in on, America's Got Talent, that type of thing. I'm not sure Cade has done that yet.
Right.
I don't know if he's capable of doing that, but we know Tyrese has done wrestling. He's played a part as a villain in wrestling. We know he's on every podcast. He rarely says no. We know he has a smile that can light up a building. We know he's already been a part of Team USA and probably is going to be the next wave of Team USA. Where Cade is, we're still figuring that out. So now when I factor that in, I started. My mind tells me Cade, but my heart tells me Tyrese. And so that's where I'm at. And I love LaMelo.
Yeah,
I love LaMelo. But there comes a point where you have to start to do things, prove things, accomplish things. And I think LaMelo's going to do it next year. I think he'll start next year. But up until this point, this conversation, Tyrese is 3A or 3B with a close Ty Maxey behind it. I like
Ty Maxey too. Ty Maxey. Yeah. Gracie approved, says it's hard to pick anyone over Haliburton right now since he's showing us in real time just how good it is to build around him.
So is Shea, though.
Yeah, Shea's doing it. Yeah, SGA. But you know, somebody from the 916 texted us. You can hit us up, 916-339-1140. So Hallie got something from Indy he could have never seen as a King. He got players around him that complement his gifts. Fox asked for that for 7+ years, I think they're saying. What do you think about that? Because here's the thing. I do believe the Kings tried to build around De'Aaron Fox by getting some bonus. They thought that would help him. They tried to get Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, those wings that De'Aaron Fox clamored for so long. But those guys did not want to come to Sacramento. You put Haliburton on this team. Now are they saying, Siakam saying, I don't want to go to India. I want to go to Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Jay.
Yeah. It's a great point to this conversation. And that, unfortunately, Drapes, we don't know. Well, at least I don't know. I can't speak for you because we aren't in the front offices. But as much as we know, you're spot on. Siakam said, nah, I would rather go play with Haliburton than to play with you.
Yep.
OG was like, nah, I'll take the money. I'll stay here, go with the Knicks. I think you're seeing that where, you know, we're in the era of players wanting to click up and play with each other. And Tyrese, albeit in a different form and matter than De'Aaron, because there's some, like Malik came here. There's some people who have come here, and I don't know if it's because of De'Aaron or because it's like, oh, I have an opportunity to play with him. But I will say this, Tyrese, and this is, I started all this with De'Aaron, he makes people, even if you don't want to say better around him, I think he makes people feel more welcome around him.
Right.
And on the floor and off the floor. That's me. You can speak to that a little bit, and you don't have to because that's not your job.
Yeah.
But you have the opportunity to travel with these players. You get to see who's clicking up, who is out with the fans, who's signing autographs, you know, all these different things. And again, you don't need to talk about that, but those are the things that sometimes we forget when we're talking about a full-on star, Drapes. Like, we're talking about a superstar, and that's the conversation you're having is if we're building, and when I say building, we're talking about financially too. Not just around on the court, financially. I want my organization to be top notch all the way around.
Yeah. You know who Tyrese Haliburton, because I was listening to you and something came to my mind. Tyrese Haliburton is that fun uncle, that adult who can walk into a kid's classroom and all the kids run up, oh, Hallie, Tyrese, and he just jumps right in. He lights it up. And here's the thing about Haliburton, because I don't want to make it seem like he's just some fun guy. The thing that I like maybe more than anything about Tyrese, Jay, he gets that basketball is entertainment. He can go into Madison Square Garden and do the choke sign, a la Reggie Miller to Knicks fans. That's swag.
It is.
And that's understanding the moment and embracing being the villain and going into Madison Square Garden. Spike Lee sitting courtside, turning to Spike and giving him the choke sign. Like, to me, I like that as a leadership quality also.
I'm with you.
That's a dude, and because that resonates with his teammates too. They act like, boy, you a fool out there. They cracking up at it afterwards. But it's bringing them together.
Yeah, it's welcoming.
And then they got his back out there the next time.
Yeah. Because it's the same thing. You go out there and do that as a teammate, I know I need to support you in making sure the choke sign is a finality.
Right.
And it wasn't, but what did they do? They wind up going and winning in overtime. Because you don't want that to be on your resume. Oh man, Tyrese put a choke sign up and we didn't even get the game. You know, couldn't even get the win. As a teammate, I take that personally.
Mm-hmm.
The competitor, the dog in me, I can't have my boy going out like that.
Right.
You know, that's fam. I can't have that dude.
We got his back.
We got to do it.
Let's continue the next segment as well. I see some of the texts coming in. 916-339-1140. You can weigh in. I got some open phone lines. Who are you taking ahead of Tyrese Haliburton? And why is that list so short? You're listening to the Drive Guys here with Drapes and Jay on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order.
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
Saturday, June 7th, the Spears Cars Tours West lights up the Stockton 99 Speedway with limited info-only autos, MMA Legends, mini stocks, and NCAA sprints. Presented to you by Tracy Ford. Gates open at 5, racing at 6. Grab your tickets now at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Gio Urshela was replaced on defense due to a hamstring injury. He will be placed on the 15-day injured list with no timetable to return. JT Ginn, out with that strained right quad, felt discomfort in that area, and the team is hopeful he can keep his arm in shape while the injury heals. There also is no timeline for his return. This injury update was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Hey, back here on the Drive Guys. JT was at Bottle Rock, huh?
I think so.
I think so. You ever been to that?
I've never been to Bottle Rock.
Are you a festival kind of guy like that?
Sometime, man. Very rarely. I'm gonna say nah. I went to Coachella years ago when it wasn't as big, 2 weekends and all that. And I was like, yeah, this is enough for me. And at that time I was managing somebody and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm enough. This is enough.
I feel like, because I was thinking about this. A lot of friends that went to Bottle Rock, everybody posting on social media and everything like that. And I'm seeing, they had Public Enemy there, Ice Cube, I think, was there. People I'd want to see. But I might be at an age, Jay, where I'm not trying to fight all the crowd and being out there like that and everything like that.
I would say don't count yourself out.
Okay.
Still, the new 50 is 40. We know that, right? But the other part of it is that I understand too. There does come to a certain level where you're like, yeah, I think I'm out on that.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
And those are acts I like though. But it's like, got to find parking, then got to walk a couple of miles and everything. Like,
you know what it is,
bathrooms, the porta potties and everything. I don't know.
You're spoiled, man.
I am spoiled, man. I'd have to have access. You know what I mean?
Hard work, though.
Yeah, right.
Your hard work has positioned you to be a little spoiled. I understand that.
Jay, you know how it is, bro. Anytime we talk about going somewhere, one of our first things we say is, all right, who do we know that could get the hookup? Give us something that, you know what I mean?
Who got the wristband?
Who got the wristbands? Exactly. And so if I did go to Bottle Rock, Coachella, whoever you want to say out there, Country in the Park, I need to have a wristband. I ain't going to be way in the back in general admission.
GA? You're not a GA type of fella no more?
Man. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not anymore.
Well, hard work has positioned you to be been able to not be a GA guy.
Right.
And this is something I tell my wife all the time. My wife, beautiful wife, she is a cosmetologist, a beautician, does hair, right? I always say, you chose what you chose. I chose what I chose. Now, there are some perks and benefits to what she does, and there's some perks and benefits to what I do.
That's true.
So that's how I look at it with everybody.
That's a bar right there. Yeah. I might have to use that.
That's one of my favorite things. You chose what you chose. I chose what I chose.
Damn, that's a bar.
Because
I'm gonna use that.
There's some things. I mean, you've been in a position. You have a daughter. It's coming to the point to where, as you said, they're expensive. They're in the salon. Mm-hmm. The fingers,
getting
the
nails.
pedicures.
Oh,
come on now, absolutely. Their hair. Like my daughter gets her hair braided quite a bit. All those different things. That stuff ain't free.
Damn, you're right.
So that's the perk of the benefit of having, okay, well, my wife could set that up and I don't necessarily have to pay for that.
Hey, that's true, man. That's a bar. I'm going to write that one down. Back to this Haliburton talk. And don't forget, coming up at the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to get into the California Classic not being here in Sacramento. King's not even taking a part of it. And I got some new information on that you don't want to miss. But I'm looking at some of the text out there from the 916. Players haven't wanted to come to the city for many, many years. How do we change that, or can it be changed? How you change it is you get a franchise guy. Here's the thing. Ain't nobody wanted to go to Milwaukee back in the day, but they get Giannis. Now all of a sudden Dame want to go there. The players, want to play with Giannis. Nobody wanted to go to Indiana. Indiana wasn't a free agency. Pascal Siakam said, I want to go there.
Right.
Shams just said, Indiana's becoming a destination place. You have to get the player that can attract those guys, and that's what who Haliburton is. No offense to Fox, but he just wasn't that guy, outside of maybe Malik, which is surprising when you think about it, too, Jay. Look at some of De'Aaron Fox's closest friends. Tatum. Bam Adebayo.
Right.
How come they didn't pull off a LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh kind of thing? You know what I mean? How come Bam didn't, or even De'Aaron didn't want to go to Miami, or Tatum didn't? Like, how come? Is it a new breed, a new generation now where guys aren't that in the buddy bar anymore? I don't know, but you would think Haliburton, to me, doesn't have the connections league-wide like De'Aaron. De'Aaron's part of a nice little core of young Donovan Mitchell, Tatum, Bam Adebayo. Like, he's part of a core of guys. Hell, Rich Paul now as his agent. Tyrese seems to be an individual. I don't know who he's rolling with. I don't know his crew. It ain't like he went to Kentucky or Duke or something like that. How can him as an individual attract so many people when we had De'Aaron? Bam is out there, and Bam ain't attracting people. Like, why is it that Tyrese can have this impact and De'Aaron and others can't?
Man, you gonna make a
Nah, man, we talking, bro. we keeping it real, right?
Well, it's this. For me, it's this. All due respect to De'Aaron, but you either got it or you don't. And it's De'Aaron, not personally, I don't think. I think a lot of things went into the fact that he's like, you know what, my time here in Sacramento is done. And I also believe he figured out he can't do this alone. And I also believe De'Aaron's like, I probably need somebody that's better than me. You know, the old saying says you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, right? I think De'Aaron figured that out. You know what? I need to force my way to a place that someone is a little bit better than me, or as I would believe, because I think De'Aaron's not that type of person, as equal as him. Like, I think De'Aaron's like looking at Wembanyama saying, this dude is as good as me, if not better. And I'm good with that. And I think his time in Sacramento taught him that. He became aware of that. But, it's not a De'Aaron thing, because I don't want to make this Ty versus De'Aaron, because that's what naturally, organically is going to do. I want to make this a league thing. There aren't 50 players in the league who have star qualities as far as basketball wise that are stars that have star qualities when it doesn't come to basketball. I'll draw you to Kobe. This is something when I knew we were going to talk about this, I started thinking about this. I think 2020 hindsight, we look back at it. You can argue it, and I know Lakers fans will, but Kobe didn't have star qualities the first 5-6 years. He was a sidekick.
Yeah.
You know what he was a star about? He had star qualities as a basketball player. But let's not forget, Kobe wasn't the guy that people were looking to come and be. Like, Shaq was the guy. Shaq was the guy. He was the bubbly, I'm the face of the league.
Right.
And Kobe was like, nah, shut up and play ball. Let's go win some championships. And Kobe has even said this. People have said this. When Kobe retired, we got a whole new concept of who Kobe was. God rest his soul. And that's why it hurt me to see Kobe, because I thought we were getting ready to see, and we did. We had the Lord let us see it a little bit, but we didn't get the full book of who Kobe was. He was peeling back his onion and allowing us, Drapes, to see the real Kobe. Oh man, you could crack a joke and you could talk a little mess and you could do certain, he showed personable Kobe. But a lot of what Kobe wasn't when he was playing was personable Kobe. I'll say this. We had Kobe on as a weekly guest when I was working at Sporting News National Radio.
Okay.
That shows you. It was post Colorado.
Ooh.
I'll peel back the curtain a little bit.
Okay.
Allison, PR for the Lakers.
Yeah, I know Allen. Yeah.
Absolutely. Was there with him, and that was like his ace a long time. They had pretty much put, and let me paint the picture for the listeners. There was a head PR person for the Lakers at the time who had been there for a long time. Then there was Allison, who was second or third in line, but Kobe was a young player and they connected for whatever reason. They just connected as people. So Allison kind of became his go-to PR person. And I distinctly remember, and the host that I worked with at Sporting News worked here, Tim Montemere. We've had him on.
Tim. Yeah.
Having him on weekly, Monty would have to break him down a little bit to get him comfortable. Hey, Kobe, what's up with the new kicks you rocking? Man, the Kobe 2s are jumping off, and me and Tim and, we were huge shoe guys. It's like, oh, man, I just bought the 2s or the 3s coming out. And I remember it was it was interesting because Kobe was a basketball nerd. He was a nut. He was all about hooping.
But that was a way.
Drapes, we didn't see Kobe until later on in his career, when he just really took off and he became the Kobe Bryant we know. That wasn't the last 3 years of his career. I'm saying it was in the middle, though. Remember, Kobe was a hooper.
Yeah.
He didn't care about doing all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
It took him 5-6 years for the Nike Kobe to even come out. He was an Adidas guy. He was young. So you got to put that in there too. He had to grow. He had to become that. And I think that's what Ty Haliburton has done. It's taking him a little time, and I'm not comparing Ty to Kobe. I'm just giving an example. It took a little while for Kobe to become Kobe. And people can argue all they want, but I'm here to tell you, he was our weekly guest. And it was times outside of basketball, you could tell he was not uncomfortable, but it wasn't his priority. It wasn't something he wanted to talk about. Ty, fresh out the birth of the womb of the NBA player. He's going to wrestling, WWE, like you said. How many times do we talk about Haliburton rekindling the trade from Sacramento and Indianapolis? You ever take a step back and why? Because this dude was on 88 podcasts.
Right. It always came right.
And people asked him. He's out there.
Yeah.
He was out there. I challenge people. First 5-6 years, because that's what we're talking about with Haliburton. I know podcasts weren't prevalent, but you ain't see Kobe like that.
Yeah.
Took him a time.
I
mean, the dude wasn't even a starter. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. We got to get Nick on, man. They'll tell you. We always seen it. I'm going to text Nick. We seen it. Man, he was just a hooper. He was a pup. He was a baby. Then Kobe showed him, nah, I'm a little different. But as far as that personality, who he was, we saw a lot. Man, he didn't have Drapes. He had a documentary when he retired.
Compio brought up a good point. And I'm not saying Tyrese is this guy as a player, even in that category. But Compio says there was a player who had the charisma, the high basketball IQ, who made his teammates better and wanted to be out there on the court. Magic Johnson.
Oh, absolutely.
Not saying Tyrese is Magic, but it's something special when he walks into the room. It lights up. And that's what Tyrese Haliburton has done for this Indiana Pacers franchise. He's brought it back to life, made it relevant, 2 straight Eastern Conference Finals, a chance to go to the NBA Finals with the win tomorrow in New York City. All right, we got much more coming up here on the Drive Guys Sacktown Sports. I know a lot of you are upset about the news about the California Classic not being in Sacramento. And not only that, the Kings aren't even part of the California Classic. We're going to dive into that next. I got some new information on the Drive Guys Sacktown Sports 1140.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Drapes and Jay holding it down on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Coming up at 4:30, we got Lowell Murray of The Athletic, NBA writer for The Athletic, joining us. We'll talk about Tyrese Haliburton, where the Kings go from here as well. DeMar DeRozan, his future in Sacramento. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up at 4:30. And then at 5:30, our boy Lim Adams, Sac State wide receiver coach, quality control coordinator, guy that got me in shape before he got the big-time job at Sac State. I got to give him some crap, Jay. I got to get it because that was my personal trainer, and we were getting it in big time. He had me looking cut, had me looking buff. That's coming up at 5:30. But I want to get to this other top story of the day. And I saw it pop up on social media. The Warriors released it. In their press release, which came out at 9:07 a.m. this morning, the Golden State Warriors will host the 7th annual California Classic Summer League, featuring 3 days of games between the Warriors, Lakers, Heat, and Spurs.
They forget somebody?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right. Warriors got their version of the California Classic. You know, remember how they did it in 2 spots?
Yeah.
You know, so
but hold on real fast, Drapes, because I know you're going to talk about this to a certain extent, and I saw Carmichael Dave put this out there. If you go back to the original thought of what the Cali Classic was supposed to be, remember, we were supposed to host it, meaning Sacramento, and then Golden State was supposed to host it.
Right.
Then it was supposed to come back to us.
Flip back, right?
Back and forth.
Alternate years.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all you.
Well, I put that out there because I'm not stealing no thunder. But so many people are like, oh, they stole it. It was in Golden State, 4 years ago? Because it was split last year.
Yeah.
Then it was in Sacramento the year before. Yeah. And then it was in Golden State the year before. So that'd be 3-4 years ago.
But all right, Jay, don't hold up now. You acting like you ain't upset about this though, big fella.
Well, I'm upset that the Kings aren't a part of it.
Okay, let's get to that part.
Not the fact that it's not here, because that was the original thought process behind it. We were going to host it, when I say we, Sacramento, and then the town, San Francisco, the city, was going to host it, and we would alternate years.
And according to reports, it is coming back to Sacramento next year. But the feeling is the Warriors just hijacked our tournament. And then we're not even part of it. Here's what I'm told about the reason why Sacramento is not a part of it.
All right. Sources tell you?
Sources are telling me. Sources say because of all the turnover, front office, coaching staffs, assistants. The organization is focusing on the Vegas Summer League and making sure everything is in lockstep and everything is tight for that, instead of adding another Summer League to the plate, which could, because they did it last year. Remember they had 2 teams?
Yeah, they did. 2 split squads.
And I heard that was kind of a nightmare, if you will, from a logistics standpoint. And they wanted to avoid that this year and instead wanted to focus strictly on getting everybody in lockstep for the Vegas Summer League. You buying that, though? Is that a good enough reason?
No.
Damn.
No. Because the Cali Classic was created in the form of the Warriors and the Kings are the host cities, organization, teams.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, unless emergency, unless, something life-changing, to me, that's an excuse. And I'm going to tell you why, Drapes. As we've seen today from fans, this is one of our things. This is something that we can hang our hat on as a Kings fan and say, don't nobody get down like we do with the Cali Classic. And I even take it a step further. We get anybody from the Bay on that want to talk about it. Cali Classic in Sacramento, 5 times better than Cali Classic than the dentist office and Chase. So that's just what that is. You have to put out a team. Now, whatever team you choose, that's between, Scott Perry and the basketball operations. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you got to put a squad out there.
Even if the squad is going to San Francisco?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I don't want to demean it, but you created this. This is something that the organization, the Kings organization, created. This is something you throw on a party every year on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
You put it this way: you're Coachella, and you're like, you know what? Whoever the artist, say Beyonce throws Coachella every year. It's her festival, and you perform every single year. You created it, and then this year you're like, my feet hurt. I'm not doing it. You have created a pattern. You have created something that fans have come to know. And if you don't go out and perform for a reason that fans, and I understand fans can be critical at, critique at many times. If you don't put out a decent reason, then you got a problem on your hands. And there's another part to this, but I'm gonna let you talk on that one.
You're right. Now you're setting the precedent that it's a Warriors event now. And you're not even a part of it.
Yeah.
And to Jay's point, hell, I know we ain't got no first round draft pick. Shoot, I could go down to 9th and Q and get 10 guys. Hey, throw the Kings uniform.
You know where I'm going.
It ain't for no lack of players.
Nope.
You always find players. And the only issue I have with it, Jay, and I understand the organization's standpoint. Well, we got a lot going on. We just want to, okay, all right. You want to take a load off your plate, if you will. But for the fan base that can't make it to Vegas.
Come on now.
That can't hop on a flight and stay at the Venetian or the Palms Hotel or Bellagio or wherever JB's staying at. Like, this is basketball in our own backyard. And if you're a Golden State, it's great. You got your Warriors in it. Miami, Lakers, I believe, one of the teams. Also San Antonio. It's great. But you ain't getting the Sacramento market.
I'm out.
We're not driving down there in droves to see other teams.
I'm out.
Right. And so from a fan base standpoint, I get the anger. It's like, this is a new era. Scott Perry, Doug Christie as your head coach. This is a chance to sort of get a jump start on the next season. Start burying the bad vibes of what we just saw this past season. And so I get it from a fan base, not being able to see my squad and just relinquishing it this year to Golden State, Lakers, Heat, and Spurs. It don't make sense. But let me also say this, Jay. I don't know if you read the press release from the Golden State Warriors.
I did.
Did you see that the first 2 days will be open to the public?
I did.
But the third day will be available by way of broadcast only.
They already messing it up.
Like, what is that?
See what I'm saying? They already are detouring fans from pulling up. And now, and this is the tough part, Drapes, now people outside of this area, Northern California, because you know it is haters. People don't like California. People don't like Northern California. People don't like the Bay. People don't like Sac. It's just part of the game. You know, somebody right now in Chicago is like, see, these dudes can't even get the Cali Classic right. Because you know it's a fan right now saying, I thought Sacramento's supposed to be a part of it. Is this the King situation? And you know, because I've already seen it. As you said, the Warriors have hijacked it. Now you're going to have that fan putting his 2 cents in, and then Sacramento Kings fans going to have to go on and defend the situation. And now guess what? Oh, man, you bitter Sacramento King fan. It's like a no-win situation. And so if it is your event, which it has been, it's been the Kings event, even when it's been in San Francisco, in the city, because the Warriors and the Kings came up with it.
Right.
But I got one more gripe, and I'll hold it for on the other side.
We're going to take a quick break. Are you upset that A, the California Classic is not being played here in Sacramento, and B, the Kings aren't even fielding the team for the California Classic? Hit us up on the text line, 916-339-1140, or give us a call, 916-339-1140. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Bring the whole family to Sutter Health Park for Sacramento River Cats baseball. It's more than a game. It's an experience your kids will never forget. Enjoy exciting action on the field, delicious ballpark food, and fun activities for all ages. From meeting Dinger the mascot to running the bases every Sunday, there's something for everyone. Create lasting memories with your family this season. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Back here. That's who that cake.
It's cake.
Cake. Okay, come on,
Look at
Jay.
you, man. You know
Come on,
cake.
big fella. I got cake on the playlist
Okay, I
right
see
here.
you working.
I got cake on the playlist.
I thought you was gonna be asking me who that was.
Nah, man. Come
That's my
on,
bad.
man.
That's
That's going back to my college days, back in the day. Back here on the Drive, guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. We were just talking about the California Classic. I'm going to just call it right now the Golden State Warriors Invitational because for some reason we're not a part of it. It's down there at the Chase Center, the dental office, sterile environment. You know what I mean? Popcorn. They don't even have real popcorn down there, Jay. They got the fancy stuff, the caramel corn.
Yeah, the ice cream machine.
It's like, come on now. That sterile environment down there for the California Classic. And question is, and we'll get to the phone lines coming up in a little bit here. I see a couple of people hanging on. The question is, Sacramento, how are we feeling about that? Golden State just looked like they deboed it from us. Came in and said, give me that. And they took our California Classic away, at least for this year. It'll be back in Sacramento next year. Jay, you had a point to make. You said it was on two fronts.
Yeah.
You're bothered by this. What you got?
That's the first one is now Kings fans have to defend the fact that we're not a part of it. And because it's something that was ours, we always should be involved in it one way or another. I don't care if you send out, Kyle Draper to call the games or something. The Kings have to be a part of it. I don't care if you got to pull down the banners and put our banner up, something. Just like the Giants put the little fake 415-510 banner up. They need to do something. A 415-916. They got to put something up. Yeah. The Kings got to be a part of it. My second gripe is this, and this has been a thorn in my craw for a long time when it comes to the Sacramento Kings, and I surely hope it changes. Drapes, no disrespect to you.
Hold on,
because you got sources.
Yeah, I got sources.
Why in the hell if you're the Sacramento Kings, are you allowing the Golden State Warriors to put out something and you're radio silent? Why are you radio silent? Why have you not came out and said just what you said? Sources say because of some clarity that we want to get done here at the G1C, we're not going to take part in that. What is wrong with putting two sentences together and slapping it out just like the Warriors did? Man, it kills me. It kills me.
No, and
you don't have to talk about it.
No. Come on, Jay. You know me, big fella. We can talk about anything here. And you're right. And that's I'm in the process of setting up a meeting with Scott Perry, one-on-one. And one of the things I'm going to talk to him about and share with him, and who knows, maybe he's listening right now. He says he listens to the Drive, guys.
That's how Scotty P
is in terms of the PR media relations, getting out in front of things. Don't be reactive or late. Be proactive. Like, for instance, with this, why not, if you're Sacramento, do a joint statement with Golden State?
Just said it.
Just throw the Kings logo up on there.
Just said it.
And next year, the California Classic will return to Golden One Center. That's it. Bam.
Due to unseen circumstances,
right,
we will not be taking part in this year's Cali Classic, a tournament in which we've had a hand in creating. for the summer of 25, we will not be participating. We wish Golden State Warriors, San Antonio Spurs, Heat, and whoever the other team is, the best of luck. Injury-free plague situation. We will see everybody in Las Vegas. Go Kings. I just wrote it for you.
He said go
I
Kings.
just wrote it for you. Draper, real talk,
easy.
though.
It's easy.
2 sentences. And now we're not feeling uncomfortable as a King fan. Now we're not feeling uncomfortable like we have to defend ourselves to the entire NBA. Now we're not feeling uncomfortable, which, oh, by the way, there have been many uncomfortable positions for Kings fans. I understand the organization doesn't move to satisfy what the fans feel or how they move or how they operate. Totally get it. But damn, we better understand, if I'm the organization, that the fans mean a lot.
Right.
They turnstile this place. Their dollar goes a long way. The want to of the Sacramento Kings, the Kings Kingdom, means a lot if I'm the organization. They've done a pretty good job, be the first one to say, of doing that.
Right. Chris the Mom says they already replaced the Monarchs starting with the Valkyries, and now they hijacked the California Classic. What's next? The Beam? And that's a joke. That's a joke, obviously.
I got it.
But to Jay's point, we got to start acting like big brother. We can't keep acting like little brother. No, we dictate things. And I'm talking from media relations, on the court, coaching staff, everything, front office. No, this is what we are doing. We're getting out in front of this. Because to your point, Jay, what upsets a lot of fans and leads to speculation is when you're quiet. You fire Mike Brown. Nothing. You trade De'Aaron Fox. Nothing until the press conference.
Right.
And so it's like you get rid of the California Classic for this year. Nothing. You're allowing people to make up their own minds, fill that void of information with their own thoughts. Instead of saying, this is why we did it. A, B, C, and D, and we're coming back next year. What can you say then?
Nothing.
You can't say nothing.
Man, the Cali Classic, it's not I don't want to say it's nothing because it's ours. We created it, meaning the Kings created it. It's something I get to hang my hat on. Before we all, meaning NBA circles, NBA fans, before we all take our treks to Royal Resorts, where I know you'll be staying.
Yeah. Resorts World.
Waldorf Astoria, where I know you'll be staying. Aria, places like that.
Yes.
The Cosmo, where Draper, lays his head at. Those places, we get to have a 3-day extravaganza, a showcase where the whole league, minus that little whatever they got going on in Orlando.
Yeah.
No one cares about that. But we get to showcase who we are. We get to showcase how great of fans we are, fan base, where our fan base will come out and show up in 10,000 in droves for a summer game.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's not anything, because it is. It's ours. And whatever is our value, whatever is our personal, I guess, because it's not personally, but I guess it is our personal piece of the NBA, I want to say. It's ours, so it means something. But in the big grand scheme of things, it's like the person who just said, sounds like the Kings are prioritizing the upcoming season, not scrimmage games. Screw the Bay Area and SoCal snobs, Rancho Mice. Right. Summer means nothing. It really doesn't, for the most part. It's glorified scrimmages. Get your time in, get your work in, work on some things, stay in shape. Let's see a few different guys, what they can do, differently than what they've done if they've even played in the league. Beyond that, it's nothing big. But treat it as if it is something. treated as if it is something for the fans because it has been treated that way for as long as it has been, as long as it existed, Drake.
Right.
It's the Kings Cali Classic. It's ours.
Don't just
relinquish
it for, No, it's ours.
You spot on. Treat it like big brother. Hey, man, you know what?
I'm putting out the press release.
I'm done with that. I'll let you have it today.
Right.
And when I want it, I'll go grab it when I want it back.
Right. Or like I just said, do a joint press release. Leaving it all to the Warriors, it's like it makes it seem like they gaffled us. They hijacked it from us. Look at Jay rolling his eyes back there. So the California Classic for this year will be in Golden State.
And Drace, please, for people who are just tuning in, please, sources tell you the reason why it's not here in Sacramento.
Because of all the turnover, coaches, front office, the organization has decided to focus on getting things buttoned up in time and ready for the Vegas Summer League instead of trying to run 2 Summer League teams and everything like that. You know what? We just going to put our eggs in a basket in Vegas. That's the Summer League we're going to focus on this year because there's so much turnover behind the scenes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
I'm wholeheartedly, if that's how
Maybe
you
even
feel,
come out and say it.
There it was. I mean, we wrote the statement. Here within a minute. 60 seconds. All I needed was the logo. If you send me over the logo, the letterhead drapes. If you could give me the King's letterhead from somebody over at the G1C,
you'll print it out.
I'll have it printed out. I have it sent by time the top of the hour.
All right, we got much more on that coming up. 916-339-1140. I'm going to get to the phone lines coming up in just a minute. Also, I just noticed something Sacktown Sports 1140 tweeted out about 7 hours ago from the morning show, Jay. I didn't listen to the morning show. I'm looking at the headline, and I can't believe Carmichael Dave said this. So we'll dive into that. Take your phone calls. A lot more on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef. This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
What you know about this, Jay?
My first time ever hearing this.
This shoot, me and Jay pulled up to Talib Kweli concert a few weeks ago in Sac. Did you post anything about that, by the way?
Nah, man, you know I don't do that.
I didn't do it either.
Very rare.
I'm in a point now, a stage where I'm not posting anything.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Why do you? For me, I guess. Let me have a real conversation real quick before we get back to King's Talks and take on the phone calls 916-339-1140. I thought about doing a photo dump from the season. Like, I take pictures before the game all the time, the outfit, hanging with Katie, things like that. This year I didn't post much at all. And I feel like posting on IG and sharing stuff like that is almost kind of a look at me, look what I'm doing. And I'm at the point now where if I'm doing it, I don't need nobody to know I'm doing it.
I'm with you.
You know? But it wasn't always like I've never been a huge poster, somebody that posts a lot. But something happened in the last year or so where I'm like, what's it all for? You've never been a huge poster.
Nah. Yeah, I don't have IG. Never had Facebook ever. Never had MySpace. Like, none of that.
You ain't posting when you hop on the plane, you know, the outside the window or you know, the destination that people, you know, when you checking in and everything and they say Honolulu.
Yeah.
You ain't posting that?
You know, I will say this, Drapes. In one form, I'm with you, and I could care less about posting and letting people know that I'm doing it or have achieved it. But in the other form, I will also say this. I do think it's been a drawback to the career that I've had because people make a lot of money on doing those things.
Yeah.
Where, you know, as we've talked about, we are blessed to be in position to do certain things because this is our job. Be able to go to certain events that sometimes people are not. These are the perks that we have. And I've always said, if I really showed, especially when I was younger, you know, kids, 20s and stuff like that, and if I showed what I really did and where I went and who I was with, man, I would have been Kai Cenat before Kai Cenat. Shots out there for getting his money.
Right.
But it's just something that is not part of my fabric. And I recognize that.
And no hate on anybody that does. That's your thing. Go for it.
Get your chips, man. Get your chips, please.
But somebody came to me recently. It was like, Kyle, you need to post more. You need to show what you're doing. You need to be active on social media. Hell, Jose said it in our meeting. You got, you know, engage and everything like that. The game has changed so much where is that supposedly a requirement now?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. It's part of the game. It's reality television. It's the way of life. Reality TV is the #1 watched genre in our world. The number one watched TV shows are the America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars. Those shows lead the ratings. That's reality television. That's people living a dream. That's people trying to achieve goals and great form. But that is part of the entertainment industry. No doubt about it.
How many times you been to a concert and everybody recording it instead of just really just absorbing it and watching it?
Every concert I've been to.
And how many times do you think people actually go back and look at that video?
Meaning the person who shot it or the people
who shot it? So really, they're not doing it for themselves.
Of course not.
And to capture the moment for themselves, because trust me, I got stuff on my phone too from concerts.
Right.
And I've never gone back. Really, we're recording it to show people, look, this is where I'm at and what I'm doing.
100% at this point.
At this point.
For sure, this point.
Game.
Yeah. Like I've always said this. It's interesting. We have Imran who comes on. Actually, I got to text Imran, see if he wants to come in, who hosts True Sports Cards show on Saturdays. Of course, that's True Sports Card shop out in Rockland. Yep. Definitely tie into that. The new autograph is the picture. When I was coming up, you wanted to get the autograph. But now people could care less about the autograph unless that's your thing. And that's, the questions that we talk about with Imran and, amongst our show. But the new, how many times, let me ask you this. How about this? When's the last time you given your autograph? I would venture to say a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been probably a couple weeks.
Okay.
But I've taken pictures.
That's
all
the next question. And when's the last picture? When's the last time you've been in Sacramento? Oh, Draper, what's up, bro? Can I get a pic?
Dude,
Yesterday. Today.
Yeah, it was like 2 days.
There it was.
You're right.
The new autograph is a picture.
You're right.
It's just part of the way we live. It truly is.
Okay.
Look who I seen. Look who I was able to capture a moment with.
Right.
That was the thing with the autograph. That was the memento about having an autograph. Oh, man, I got Hank Aaron to sign my baseball. I got, Joe DiMaggio to sign my bat.
Do you think, though, the picture is more than just, I met this person? I feel like some people use it as, this bragging. Is my guy.
Bragging.
I'm hanging out with Floyd Mayweather. This is my guy. Dog, Floyd don't know who you are. And so whereas an autograph, it's, you really are excited to get meet that person to get the autograph. Whereas the picture, 50 Cent in town.
Right.
Oh, let me get a pic. Look, I'm hanging with 50. But it's really,
you just came across
him for like 10 seconds
at the local diner. Well, I think it's a twofold thing, Drapes. You have some people who are genuinely, and you're a bigger celebrity than a lot of people, right? I would imagine there are people who are genuinely interested and excited and happy to meet Kyle Draper. I would imagine you are a good, you decipher who those people are. I've never seen you turn down a picture,
right,
to the best of my memory. But I think if there was someone that you felt was just utilizing the picture for bragging rights, you might say, I'm okay, sir, or ma'am, but I think there are twofold. I think there's some people who genuinely are excited to meet whoever they're meeting and take a picture. And I think there are a lot of people who post a picture for bragging rights. As you said, look at me. I'm down on the floor. Look at me. I'm in the VIP seats.
Right.
Look at me. I saw Draper at Bottle Rock behind stage.
Yeah.
Those type. There's definitely those people. And we see them all the time. Because guess what? There are people who make money on that. It happens all the time.
It does. But here's the problem with that. You got a young daughter. I got a 13-year-old daughter. Even adults. people only post the highlights.
Not the lowlights?
Dog, they not posting when they come out of therapy crying. They not posting when they in the mediation with the divorce attorney. They not, you know what I mean? So it's really not reality. It's a snapshot of someone's best moments, if you will. And psychologically, mentally, we got mental health awareness month here going on right now.
Absolutely.
Psychologically, that could make you feel like, damn, my life is boring.
Right.
I got a 13-year-old that want to go to Dubai for her vacation.
Hey, good luck.
Where's she? Good
luck, big time. Good luck.
But you see other people, like she got friends going to Italy for a month.
Right.
And things like that.
Sure.
Damn, we need to go somewhere. And so it's trying to measure yourself against what other people are doing instead of what you're doing and being content. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Hey, front row ain't for everybody.
It ain't.
I'm happy with middle row, 15 rows back, 20, however you feel about it.
Yeah. That's why I say I think it's a double dose. You have some people who are, when they come to the Kings game, they see Kyle Draper, and I've said it. I've seen it in first experience. I've brought friends down to meet you.
Yeah.
And they, oh, man, Kyle Draper. Oh, look, can I get a picture? Me and the wife, they're genuinely excited to meet you because you are a part of their favorite team or you are part of an organization that they are a fan of. And then at the same time, as I said, I'm pretty sure you can feel it. Sometimes it's, yeah, what's up, man? Me and my boy Draper, we posted up. We on the floor doing it big. He suited up. I got my chain on. Like, you had those type of people, and you can already feel it. Nah, you're just doing this to show that you're down here near me or you're utilizing who I am to brag.
Yeah, somebody from the 916 says, it's not all look at me. I post on my social for the annual memories. I felt like that's where Facebook was really good at, really good, especially when the kids were little and everything. I'd post stuff.
For sure.
And then just go back. And when it pops up, it's like, oh, I don't get the Instagram memories, though. Like, I don't think that comes up.
I don't know.
Really.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. We're
buying 8-ball, Drace. We OGs at this point.
I know.
We really are in the point of social network and reality, how people believe that's reality. That is the thing. That's the end thing.
Yeah.
For sure. It's definitely one of those things that people pay attention to. I'll say this real fast before we break.
Yeah.
My outside of here, of course, working in reality television, I remember one of the networks, huge network who has feels like thousands of reality shows on their network right now. One of the presidents told me people watch reality and pay attention to social networks to escape their own life. And it dawned on me, I was like, wow, that might be true. Because sometimes people live vicariously through different avenues. And I had never, and this wasn't 2 years ago. This was 10, 12 years ago, whatever, 15 years ago, something. But I remember that was kind of like the beginning of reality television, which was 10, 11, 12, 15 years ago. And I was working on a show. And that was the president. He was like, hey, don't do it for you. It's like a DJ. Don't play what you want to play. Play what the people want to hear.
Yeah.
Don't post what you want to post. Post what people want to see.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Quick timeout. 916-339-1140. Next, we'll get to the phone lines. 10 is hanging on. Trey's hanging on as well. You're listening to The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports 1140.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Saturday, June 7th, the Spears Cars Tours West lights up the Stockton 99 Speedway with limited and pro-only autos. MMI Legends, mini stocks, and NCAA sprints. Presented to you by Tracy Ford. Gates open at 5, racing at 6. Grab your tickets now at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Man, Jay, going back to my college years. Shout out to Winona State University, Winona State Warriors. Rise up. That's in Minnesota. This is where I learned all that stuff. Little third eye blind here. Hold up, Jay. Why are you on this kick today? You on a different kind of vibe today.
I think because you said college. You were talking first segment.
90s.
Yeah.
This is 90s.
It just hit me like that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Before my time, but wasn't my college years.
It wasn't your college years. But hey, coming up at 4:30, Law Murray of The Athletic will be joining us. We got to talk about the NBA playoffs, current state of the Kings. Can Scott Perry work his magic and change the team on the fly? Plus, at 5:30, Lem Adams, Sac State wide receiver coach, quality control coordinator. He'll be joining us as well to talk about what they're doing over there. But, Jay, let's get to the phone lines, man, because we've had a couple people hang on for a while. 916-339-1140. That's how you can talk to the Drive guys here. Let's go to 10 on line 1. 10, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's up, man? 10, you there? Drop him, Jay. Cut him. 10 been hanging on for about 2 hours, though. So he probably had us on mute or something like that.
The customer you're trying to reach is not available. Please call back.
All right, let's go to Trey. Trey on line 2. What's up, Trey? You're on with Drapes and Jay, man.
Drapes and Jay, man. What's going on, Drive? What's going on, man?
What's up with you, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Hey, so a quick comment on the California Classic. I mean, it sucks because that's that's good notoriety and bringing awareness and stuff to city of Sacramento. But at the same time, like I don't know, I kind of look at it like preseason football. It's kind of like, we're going to get it back next year, so that's cool. But, hey, it also goes to show you and tell you, when Scott Perry walked up in there, he looked in there, and he was like, oh, my God, he had that little Fred Sanford heart attack. And he was like, man, I got to take care of business. I can't do nothing else but focus on moving the Kings forward. So that got to tell you the state of affairs we in right now. And then also, like, quick comment on Haliburton. I would take him over anybody right now, maybe besides SGA. And that's because of one thing, and I hope a lot of hoopers out there is listening. When you play point guard, you're supposed to play the way Haliburton is playing. You get everybody involved, you hard-nosed on defense, you move them feet. And reason why I'm going to stay away from Luka, you know my takes on people with mud feet. Luka got him. He can't move his feet. And therefore it's not going to be effective on both sides of the ball. So that's what I got, fellas, man. Take comments off the air, man. Nice talking to y'all, man.
Hey, Trey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging on with us. Trey been on for a minute, 916-339-1140. Trey made a good point. I'll go in reverse order with Haliburton. He got SJ number 1, Haliburton 2. Luka is such a phenomenal talent. Almost unstoppable. But I don't know how much better he's making those around him compared to, let's say, Haliburton. Like, to me, Luka is an unstoppable force, if you will, when he's in shape and locked in. You saw it last year leading Dallas to the NBA Finals. But I don't know if Luka, and when I say make other players better, I look at Aaron Nesmith, his numbers go up. Siakam, his shots. Like, Nembhard. Like, when you got a guy like Tyrese, you know who Tyrese is a guy that gets you paid, Jay. You play with Tyrese Haliburton, your numbers are going up, and when it comes free agency time, you're about to get paid.
He's a traditional point guard.
Yeah.
He's closer to a traditional point guard. That's what Trey talking about too. Is Trey might be a little OG, might have a little double OG in him as well. And I like my point guard to be a little more traditional than shoot first. Some people don't like that, that's technically not the way the NBA is operating right now. But he, as we've heard this say before, he's a pass first or a shoot first type of guy. I think Ty really is a pass first guy.
Yeah.
He would like to make the spectacular pass versus shoot the three. Now, I think he does a great job, and this is part of his maturity, is he has learned, and I'll go back to game 1 where he literally ran outside to try to shoot a three, even though his toe was on the line.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not passing that. I'm taking that myself.
Right.
Where he could have went through up the float and maybe found somebody else. So I think it just kind of depends on what you like, Drapes. Are you a more traditional pass first type of point guard, or are you kind of looking for more of a ball dominant Jalen Brunson type point guard?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good debate, because when it comes to Luka is not a traditional point guard,
ball dominant.
But he's so damn good. He's so good that you can win that way. But you could also win Tyrese's way too.
Absolutely.
And so, but if I'm drafting, the reason why I might move Tyrese ahead of Luka is because I think you could put anybody around Tyrese, meaning he could fit in any system. He could play with Golden State. Whereas if you got Luka, now you got to build. You got to have shooters. Can't have a big that clogs the lane. I feel like Tyrese gives you more flexibility with your roster.
It's a great point. That's a great point. I think you're spot on. Luka is who you build around. Tyrese is someone you can build with. Even though you're building around him and to a certain extent, but you don't have to play one way with Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah.
You can play 2, 3, 4 different ways. I think he can do. We've seen it here. DHO. Him and Domas had, as short as it was, they had spectacular stats when it came to DHOs, dribble handoffs. They don't do that in Indianapolis. Obviously, they're succeeding in what they're doing. I think he has the type of skills that he can, as you said, he can kind of fit 2, 3, 4 different types of offenses.
Campio says, I'll take the point guard who gets his teammates on the scoreboard. Haliburton does that, which goes back to what we said earlier. I feel like guys probably would rather play with Haliburton because he's going to make you look good. You're going to get your touches. You're going to get your shots. You don't have to just stand in the corner and wait for the ball. Whereas maybe with Luka, you got to do that. So with Tyrese Haliburton having a career game, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 0 turnovers. Never seen that stat line in NBA history in any game with the 0 turnovers. With a guy like Tyrese Haliburton, if I'm a free agent, I look at how much fun he's having. I'm looking at Pascal Siakam's numbers. Somebody was talking about it on Sirius XM radio. I'll make this final point before the top of the hour. Jalen Brunson, great player, phenomenal player, phenomenal. Guess how many assists he has to Karl Anthony Towns, their second best player. Now, Jalen Brunson is the point guard, Jay. Karl Anthony Towns, your big man, can shoot the rock, lay it up, finish inside. How many assists does Jalen Brunson have to Karl Anthony Towns this series?
I'd say about 10.
1.
Come on. 1? 1.
There you go.
That's telling.
Now, if Tyrese was playing with Karl Anthony Towns, come on, man.
He's got 1 assist to Cat.
This series. That's what they said on Sirius XM NBA Radio. That's why I'm taking Tyrese Haliburton. Hey, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, 916-339-1140. Much more on Haliburton. Also, if you could do one do-over, Sacramento, if you could change one front office mistake, move, whatever you call it, during the Sacramento era, what would it be? We'll dive into that next here on The Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
What's going on? I'm talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, tell me what's happening for Chrysler's Employee Pricing Plus event.
You get the perk of being an employee without all the work, plus a little extra Hoblet discount on top of what everyone else has when you save up to $20,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S.
Now, I remember you saying how much your wife likes the Wagoneers.
It's true, and they are really nice. I'm super excited to be able to help you save so much so you can have one of your own. Plus, you get to experience our award-winning customer service. And remember to check out the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with nearly 200 vehicles available and over 50 under $20,000. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet has it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
20,000 total net savings after 9,000 factory rebates and 11,000 dealer discounts, including employee pricing for all. Rebates may include 7,500 CDJ federal tax credit offered by third party and subject to change without notice. Consult a tax professional. 3th net savings. Sample VIN 6394. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
This summer, make every pitch count with the Sacramento River Cats Cats Pass. For just $59, enjoy 18 River Cats home games with access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club, featuring some of the finest ballpark and skyline views. Soak in summer nights at Sutter Health Park, all at unbeatable value. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just love a night at the ballpark, the Cats Pass is your ticket to summer. Join the Sacramento River Cats all season long. Secure your Cats Pass today at rivercats.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Drapes and Jay, Sacktown Sports 1140. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick today. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Wishing him all the best. Doing a lot of Tyrese Haliburton talk after he dropped 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 0 turnovers in that 130-121 win over the New York Knicks. Pacers have a chance to go to the NBA Finals if they win Game 5 tomorrow. 916-339-1140. That's how you can talk to us. On the text line right here, 916 says, if you could go back in time, would you have kept Tyrese instead of De'Aaron? I think sitting here today, yes. But from what I understood at the time, the Pacers wanted Tyrese. They weren't too high on De'Aaron. Tyrese was the guy they wanted. In fact, this is just my belief. In fact, I think at the time, there's no sources or anything like that. This is just how I feel. I feel like maybe De'Aaron was on his way out, was the guy that they were looking to trade and couldn't get the deal that they wanted. And so they pivoted with Tyrese. Ultimately, De'Aaron and Domas played extremely well together, 48 wins, broke the streak and everything like that. But to answer the 916 question, if you could go back in time, would you have kept Tyrese instead of De'Aaron? I think so. And there's no shade to De'Aaron. I'm just bigging up Tyrese Haliburton. And we could play this game all afternoon, Jay, and let's start right now. If you could go back and redo a move, a near trade, a firing, let's say over the last 25 years. We ain't got to go back to, Eddie Johnson and Reggie Theus and all that.
Dang.
Let's say I know
you took one out.
Really?
Off,
you had one?
I had one that was just a little
could.
bit before there. Yeah.
We could if you want.
Give me 30
could.
years. Give me 30
All right, 30 years. We could. If you could go back and do one thing over, if you're a Sacramento King, what would that be?
Dang.
It's to me a number of candidates.
Yeah, there are.
We go through the drafts.
There are
every year, pretty much outside of De'Aaron Fox. We could go through trading Fox, trading Haliburton, Big Cuz, C-Web, Mitch, like whoever you want to. We could go through it all.
Yeah.
What stands at number one to you, Jay? Or you want to do a reverse order, or how you want to look at this?
Well, you just asked for one.
Yep.
There are three, and they all revolve around the draft. And I'll set the preface on this. I think if you go back and you draft better, you draft a little more, and I'm trying to be PC with it, but if you draft at a higher caliber than what the Kings have done, I think post or around the 2000s teams, you could have kept that momentum going, a la the Spurs, who went to the playoffs so many years in a row.
What, that mid 2000s team, like 2003, 4, 5,
exactly.
like that?
If you draft properly prior to the 2000 team, you would continue the success. And if you were to draft properly in the middle 2000s, late 2000s, prior to 2010, and before, the Cuz era, Boogie Cuz, you would take the success that the early 2000s teams had and spin that into the Brad Millers, the Ron Artests, and then spin that into another era of whoever that could have been. And so for me, it goes back to the drafts. My three are these.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard drafted at 15.
What year was that, Jay?
I had it in my head. Hold on, let me make sure I got it. I'm going to say nothing wrong.
Is that 2010?
Just trying to triple check, make sure I'm spot on here.
2011?
I think it's 11, right? Yeah, 2011. All right.
Kawhi Leonard went 15.
He went 15th. I'm not here to say that I thought Kawhi Leonard would be Kawhi Leonard, but I thought he damn sure would be better than a lot of people in that draft.
Who did we wind up taking? It says we took Bismack, but that was part of a trade, right?
Yes. But we took him for a draft.
Right.
But look also who we also took in 2011.
Oh, that was Jimmer Fredette.
Bingo.
That was
who just
Jimmer
retired.
Fredette. Yeah, that was the Jimmer
And we
Fredette
took him
trade.
at 10. Kawhi got picked 15th. Right? So that's 2010. So I'm going off the prowess. Remember, this is my prowess of we're building around the 2000s team. You either should have picked someone prior to keep that success going or right after, which is 06, right?
Yep.
The Artest, the Brad Millers, the Bonzi Wells. If you only had 3 or 4 down years and the Kawhi comes, I think Kings fans would be all right compared to the 16-year span that we just went not making the playoffs.
Right.
So that's 2010 for me. I think that's number 3.
That's number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's where I start. What's your thoughts on that one?
The Kawhi Jimmer Fredette.
Yes, the miss.
That was 2011. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree because when you look at that draft, Jimmer went 10.
Yep.
Dog, it don't even have to be Kawhi. Draft Klay Thompson.
I understand at 11.
You know what I mean?
At 11. I get
draft
it.
Klay Thompson
I
at
get it.
11. You better off. There's a number of guys that maybe aren't franchise guys. Tobias Harris came out. Vucevic came after that. but there are a number of guys that may not be. Jimmy Butler.
Come on. Drafted the last pick of the first round.
You just can't whiff as badly as you did. You may not get the franchise guy, Jay, but Jimmer was a zero. Let's call it what it is.
Zero.
He was a zero.
Yeah.
At least get a rotation guy, somebody that could play in the league. So I agree with that. That's a big one right there.
And we're also going off the statement of this has had to happen, meaning reverse a trade, or they were in talks of doing this. Guess where Kawhi Leonard worked out at? Be here in Sacramento.
He worked out here?
Worked here in Sacramento.
He worked out for the Kings?
Yes.
How do we know?
You tell me. I don't know. I wasn't in the building at the time. I was actually working for the Clippers at the time.
Because when I hear the workouts were great.
You just heard what I said. I don't know. Now, number 2.
Dude, that's Jay, you killing me with that one, bro.
Yeah, because it's something that I even clarified with you before we got on the show. Is this something that, is this just make believe, this fiction? Like, oh, we should have drafted Steph Curry. No, this is something that could have happened, probably should have happened. We know there's smoke to this.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard worked out here for the Sacramento Kings, and people were high on him.
Yep.
All right. Number two. The year right after.
Ooh, what's the year?
2012.
2012. Let me see.
Who do we take?
Hold up, Jay. Let me pull it up, big fella. Let me pull it up. 2012.
Thomas Robinson.
Oh.
We took T-Rob.
No, don't do that.
We took T-Rob at number 5 from Kansas.
Who was number 6, Jay?
That'd be Dame Doll. That'd be Damian Lillard.
Oh, you killing me.
That'd be Damian Lillard. All hands on deck. Jeff Petrie. Get ready to dip. Take Dame. He thought he was coming here. Everybody thought he was coming here. Thomas Robinson dropped. We've heard Jerry tell the story. Yeah. We've heard plenty of people who were tied to the team tell the story. Dame was getting ready to be drafted by the Kings. And then all of a sudden, Thomas Robinson dropped, and they were like, oh, you know what? He's the guy. He was the Wooden Award winner. He was the man. What? Never thought why he was dropping. Didn't go after their guy. They took Thomas Robinson over Dame.
Damn.
That's number 2.
He averaged over 313 games, 4.9 points, 4.8 rebounds. All right. And then right after him went the Hall of Famer, Damian Lillard. That hurts.
That hurts.
That hurts.
All right.
Number 1.
1996.
Oh, so this is number 1?
This is number 1. I've had this conversation, and I gave a little bit of it. I was in my Kobe mode today.
What year did you say?
1996 NBA draft. One of the, if not the, greatest draft ever, right? That's Iverson's draft.
AI.
Yes.
Ray Allen.
Correct.
Steve Nash.
Come on.
Okay. Who do we take? Hold up. Let me go down the
list.
Took
a Hall of Famer, should be.
Who, Peja?
Took Peja.
Nothing wrong with that. Don't hate on that, Jay.
Nothing wrong with that. We took him where?
14th.
All right. Next time we get the legendary Jerry Reynolds on, we'll have this conversation. Who got picked 13th?
Kobe.
Why did Kobe get picked at 13th? What's the story behind it?
What you got for
who did Charlotte make the trade with?
Vlade. Oh, the Lakers for Vlade.
Who was picked 14th? Who was getting ready to pick 14th?
Sacramento.
Word on the street is the Lakers spoke to Charlotte, jumped the Kings because the Kings were getting ready to pick Kobe.
Shut up.
You ain't never heard this story?
I don't think I've heard this story.
Come on, man. If, and this is what I'm saying, that's why I asked, got to clarify. Jeff Petrie, picked Peja, was enamored with Kobe Bryant from the understanding. The Lakers found out, and allegedly jumped the Kings because they felt the Kings were getting ready to pick Kobe. I asked Kobe that one day.
Really?
Yeah, I did. And I said, man, could you imagine if you were on the Kings? He was like, hell nah. He talked a little bit of stuff. But I also say this. There was a conversation, and Coach Christie has said this on air, I think once, but I'm okay in saying this because we've had this conversation before. Kobe told Peja Stojakovic after they retired that the Kings had a better team than the Lakers, even though the Lakers won the championship, even though the Lakers beat the Kings. And he also told Peja, if you guys would have beat us that year, you would have rattled off 2 or 3. You would have done what we did. Because once you win a championship, you have a taste and there's a thirst and there's so many ways to get to it. I just go back in history. If that is true, and that's why I asked how you clarify it. I've heard this story be told to me a few different times from a few different people. The Lakers found out the Kings were going to draft Kobe Bryant. So they jumped right in front of them to get Kobe. Could you imagine? And it's tough because the Lakers are the most hated team, minus the Warriors now at this point, for the Sacramento Kings. But just allow yourself to take a step out the box one time. Come on,
for 20 years.
Come on, man.
That might be number one. Oh, no, that is your number one.
That's my number one. That's my number one.
Damn.
Now, I've never spoken to Jeff Petrie because he's not the type of person that talks.
Right.
Like I've texted him a few times when Adelman and Weber and Yolanda Adams got into, not Yolanda Adams, but Yo got into it and got into the Hall of Fame. All three of them got into the Hall of Fame all at the same time. I text Jeff to see if he wanted to come on. And he sent me along. I might even have the text. It was literally like a 8-page letter. But I asked him a few different things about Weber and, things like that. He was very candid about certain things, but he didn't want to come on air. And he was like, basically, Jeff is let bygones be bygones type of person, right? I tried to ask him about the Kobe thing, and he wouldn't bite on it.
Jeff wouldn't.
He wouldn't bite on it. But I've had conversations. I've heard people say he wanted Kobe. If Kobe made it down to him, he was going to take Kobe.
So we could have had Kobe Bryant.
I don't know.
So hold up. Let me. and Peja turned out to be great.
Oh, absolutely.
We're cool with Peja.
Absolutely.
Is that a scenario where we're just sitting back, hoping and thinking Kobe's going to fall to us?
I don't know, Drapes. I wasn't, again,
you know what I mean?
I'm not able
they
to
have gone, you know what? We're going to jump up.
Yeah.
Oh, Kobe's still there at 13 or whatever. Let us make the trade.
That's my point. And that's why I clarified earlier. If there was it something that there was smoke to? Could this have happened? Have people said this? Have people talked about it? They've done it right here on this air. They said Jeff Petrie was enamored with Kobe. He wanted Kobe Bryant. The Lakers found out allegedly and jumped him. Now, how true that is, I'm not sure.
Somebody, Chris with the K, Jay, I'm getting depressed.
I know. Draper wanted to do this. Not me. I didn't want to do this.
I thought we were going to talk Luka and everything like that.
It's deeper than that. Because this is the thing, Drapes. We talk about it tirelessly here with the Kings. We talk about this being a destination. We talk about people wanting to come play with our stars or the players that have been here. We just had the conversation with De'Aaron. We talk about variables that we can't control. The one thing we can control is who we draft when it's our turn. Now, that's why I said, is it make believe like, oh, they should have traded up to go get Steph Curry because Steph Curry wasn't, people didn't think Steph Curry is going to be Steph Curry. But I'm saying the things that we know of, we know Kawhi Leonard was right here. We know from what we've been told, the powers up, the scouting said, hey, Kawhi's the guy. They chose not to go that way. We know Dame pretty much got a guarantee that he was going to be drafted by the Kings. Hence why he still busts the ass of the Kings every time now, because he mad. He didn't get picked.
Yeah.
They picked Thomas Robinson. I'm saying, and I'm going to text the legendary Jerry Reynolds and a couple people. I've been told that. I've been told the Kings were in on Kobe. Jeff Petrie was in on Kobe. And the Lakers found out some kind of way and jumped him.
Okay.
It wasn't and if you look at it, it wasn't by mistake. They just get the team right before the Kings. And that's why I say it had to be some type of smoke. Had to be some smoke there.
How about this one? 13, Ben McLemore.
Man, don't get me started on the drafts.
When you got CJ, Giannis still on the board. Hell, I would even take a Steven Adams. Just going through the draft. And somebody on the text line said perhaps the draft should be in its own separate category. 916. Anyone could say we should have drafted someone better. Drafting shouldn't be part of this question. And they might be right, Jay, because it's kind of depressing when you go through it.
I'm with you. But it's something that we know. It'd be different if it was, oh, man, they should have traded up to get Allen Iverson. Well, yeah, we all should have did it. But these are the things, the situations that we know of. This isn't created. This isn't fiction. This is nonfiction.
This is
real.
Right. This isn't just, you should have drafted this guy instead of this guy. This was, you had this guy. You worked him out. He's in your own backyard.
He was in your camp. Dame will tell you, man, I thought I was going to Sacramento. I'm going to be right down the street from my hometown. They took Thomas Robinson to this day. And you've been upfront and personal with the Drapes.
Yeah.
Dame comes here and he's got a chip on his shoulder because we, the Kings, didn't draft him. He was given almost a guarantee. Kawhi Leonard was in our hands. They chose to go get Jimmer Fredette, the look, the feel.
Wow.
I mean, if there's anything to be upset about, it's the way the Kings have drafted. We can't control picking up the phone and trying to get Kyrie to come here as a free agent.
Right.
He's a free agent. He can do what he want to do. When you put your name in that draft lottery, you stuck. Unless you pull out. Now is different times, but in 2010, that was different. You were stuck. Whoever picked you. Now you could go Eli Manning and say, I ain't going there. Good luck then. Let's see what happened. Coach Christie did it. Remember, he got picked by the Sonics.
Yeah.
He said, nah, I'm not signing that deal. Missed the first 20 some odd games or whatever it was. Got traded to the Lakers. You can do it.
Jay, I wanted to do this exercise because for the longest time, passing on Luka, taking Marvin Bagley.
Yeah,
people had that up there.
I mean, it's a top 3 for sure.
I could argue the Tyrese Haliburton trade is even worse.
Really?
Because, and you said it, you had this guy.
He was yours.
He was yours. You had the winning lottery ticket. And you traded it away before cashing out. The Lucas, to the Texer's point, the draft, you can look at every draft to say you should have drafted this guy versus that guy. That's
Agreed.
it. You can look at it.
I get it.
And that will go down in history, missing out on Luka and drafting Bagley. We understand that. But when you got the guy in your house, he's sleeping up in his bedroom upstairs. You're making him breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single night. You picking out his outfits for him. You giving him allowance money. He's your child. He's a homegrown, somebody you got in your system. And I understand we got a great player back in Sabonis. We don't, in the drought, without that trade. But looking back on it, will that be looked at? Because here's the thing. If the Kings make the playoffs with Sabonis the next 3 to 5 years, whatever, it's fine. But since that one playoff year, Beam Team year, we were up. Remember when we made the playoffs, Jay? We were like, ha, ha, ha. Everybody laughing at us about that trade, saying Indiana wanted it, all this. We were up. We were feeling good about ourselves, Kings fans.
We were.
But now, ever since that season, 2 seasons in a row, Tyrese Haliburton is leading the Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals. This year to the NBA Finals. Now we're looking like Boo-Boo the Fool out here. And so we need to start turning this thing around. We need to start making the playoffs, making a push with Sabonis at the helm. Because if we don't, as we move further and farther away from that trade and the Pacers keep having success, we look bad. Jay, should I get to the phones right now? Nick? Yeah, let's go. Nick hanging on line 3. Nick, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's up, man?
What's up? This is Nick 916. Hey,
what's up?
This call will be recorded. I came back from San Francisco. I was there for a year, and no one talks about the Kings. Let me give you an idea of where I'm at. I got an autographed Scott Pollard jersey, authentic Bobby Jackson jersey. One of my favorite players was Jabari Smith. I went to Rick Adelman's last game at the finals, or not the finals, where the Spurs eliminated them in the first round at home. It was the first game at home. Here's my question. I'm tuning into KHTK, and all I hear about is shoulda, woulda, coulda if we drafted these people. And you guys were talking about Jeff Petrie earlier, and I was just thinking this sounds just like Jeff Petrie because you talk about Jimmy Butler, and you were talking about Jimmer and all the guys we drafted, Francisco Garcia, all those dudes, and they didn't really do nothing for us.
Love Francisco, though.
Like Francisco's my guy.
One of the guys,
Don't be lumping
on,
Francisco in with a miss, big fella.
Okay, well,
Love
I remember Katino Mobley and all the Jeff Petrie era kind of stuff going on, and it seemed like it was great. He captured lightning in a bottle. I still got the Sports Illustrated magazine, greatest show on court. Don't get me wrong here, guys. I'm just feeling like we just are still talking about the same stuff in SAC going on from the last 20 years, and Vivek isn't doing anything to try to keep the A's in Sacramento, and he says Maloof 2.0. He's going to move him out to Vegas. It's a trick. I feel like this is just like deja vu. Deja vu. It's like deja.
Appreciate you, Nick. Nick, but Nick's a diehard. He goes back. He got all the old jerseys and everything like that.
He ain't got that Francisco jersey.
He ain't got the Francisco one. Hey, man, we're going to stick with NBA basketball. Coming up next, Law Murray of The Athletic. I want to talk to him about the path forward for the Sacramento Kings. Plus, Tyrese Haliburton. Where does Law have him on his point guard tier list, if you will? We're bouncing back. It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Layoffs across federal agencies have left workers searching for next steps. One state has positioned itself as a top choice when attracting a talented workforce. Hillary Doe, Chief Growth Officer for the state of Michigan, has more.
Michigan has over 140,000 job openings in fields including semiconductors, cybersecurity, software development, nursing, teaching, and several types of engineering. With our First in the Nation programs, we're working hard to retain current residents and welcome new workers. Folks can upload their resume and discover new opportunities through the Michigan Career Portal.
More Americans are leaving Sunbelt states and moving to the Midwest, reversing migration trends.
Michigan offers a rare combination of diverse career opportunities, affordability, and great quality of life. We're surrounded by natural beauty with more freshwater shoreline than anywhere else in the country. And we're featuring all those elements in our campaign. As a result, over 40,000 individuals have expressed interest in living and working here, letting us know there's no better time to make it in Michigan.
To learn more about Michigan's fast-growing industries and job openings, visit themichiganlife.org.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation.
That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This Memorial Day, don't just make plans, drive them. With Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event, the road's calling for you, your playlist, and your new ride. Right now, get a low-cost lease on a 2025 RAV4, or shop the industry's best lineup of hybrid SUVs, like the Grand Highlander Hybrid, Land Cruiser, or the Toyota Crown Signia. Toyota's got the ride to match your summer vibe. Hurry into Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event today. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 6/2/25.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140, Drapes and Jay hanging out with you, getting you ready for game number 5, OKC, Minnesota. Thunder looking to close out the Timberwolves back at the crib. Let's bring in our guy, friend of show. Not sure exactly where he is right now. He might be in LA, might be in OKC. Law Murray of The Athletic. Law, what's up, man? You're on with Draper and Jay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm at home. I've been home for pretty much the whole month, man, ever since the Clippers got eliminated. So I'm in LA right now.
Okay. Let's start with the playoffs, man, and what we saw last night from Tyrese Haliburton. It's sort of a sore subject here in Sacramento. He was the guy we had. He was our franchise player. Could have developed into that. Now we're seeing him thrive elsewhere. What do you make of Tyrese and his historic performance last night and what he's doing with the Pacers?
Yeah, my condolences, because y'all had all the point guards, and I don't know who the point guard is going forward in Sacramento, but Indiana knows they got their guy forever. You know, that guy, I mean, to have 15 assists that lead to 35 points is one thing. To be able to score 32 points, that's another thing. To not have a single giveaway, that's what separates Tyrese Haliburton from literally every player in the NBA. The fact that he makes the plays that he does, can score the basketball, and can run that team without making the mistakes that every other ball handler kind of gets excused if they make those mistakes. If Tyrese had 5 turnovers last night, we would have been like, all right, you know, the ball is in his hands, and they have so many possessions in the game because of the pace that they play at. And this guy jumps the pass and makes these passes to big men, to shooters, to runners, to cutters. I love how he plays basketball, especially for a lot of people. They think that everyone plays the same. You watch that team and you watch that point guard and tell me that with a straight face like you believe it. You can't. So that's the most impressive thing, is he knew that he needed to be the leader of the response after they blew a 20-point lead in Game 3, and he came out with one of the best games in NBA postseason history for a guard.
Law, something we've kind of had a discussion, and I'll let Draper kind of put the cherry on top, but I'll just start with the first part. Has he outplayed Jalen Brunson? And if so, has he outgained the position of Jalen Brunson? Has he surpassed Jalen Brunson as a better all-around point guard, or I guess has he stepped in front of him when it comes to point guard stardom?
That's a tough one for me because they play so differently and they're asked to do different things for their teams. And I think I might still want Jalen Brunson more than Tyrese, because Jalen, you see, that dude's not being guarded, okay? He's killing just about all of his matches. I think Aaron Nesmith is doing an outstanding job on him. But Jalen Brunson is cooking these dudes at 6'2". You know, I will say having Tyrese makes everything easier for how you're building your team and how you're building the rest of your offense. I think those dudes are looking at Jalen Brunson too much. So I'm not sure I'd want to say in a vacuum that Jalen is not better than Tyrese, but I think Tyrese cares about the win. And Tyrese is allowing his team to play winning basketball in this series more than Jalen is allowing his team to play winning basketball in this series. And I think if you're the Knicks, you got to look and it's like, man, Jalen's really good. Karl Towns really good. It's really bad that you can't defend with those two on the floor together, and that their games might not complement each other as well as you thought. And I think that's something the Knicks are going to have some hard conversations about this summer.
Well, I think it was your outlet, The Athletic, that did the player survey, where Tyrese, you know, a handful of players, I think 14 listed him as overrated. Might he be underrated, would you say? Is he underrated out there?
He's definitely underrated. He's definitely underrated. And here's what's funny. I'll be transparent, because the way we conduct this poll, it's anonymous. We talk to as many players as we can. We try and get players to, you know, we ask a lot of questions. We asked about 15 questions to these players. And that was the toughest one for players to answer. A lot of guys declined. A lot of guys participated in the poll. Like, I talked to more than 20 guys, right? Guys didn't want to answer that question. And if they did answer it, they just kind of threw a name out there. But I'll tell you what, if anyone believed that in the regular season, they ain't going to probably say that a year from now. You know, and I can tell why some people might have considered Tyrese, because I underestimated Tyrese. I mean, I got the vote this year for All-NBA. Tyrese made All-NBA. Tyrese didn't get a vote from me. And I think highly of Tyrese Haliburton. But Tyrese didn't have a good start to the season. He can tell you that himself. He came from the Olympics. My favorite tweet from Tyrese's Olympic experience was talking about how he got a gold medal like he was the kid on the group project. They ain't do nothing. You know? So Tyrese did not have a strong start to the season. That's one of the reasons why he wasn't Indiana's all-star representative this year. That was Pascal Siakam. You know, he put himself in a position where he needed to be better for his team to be better. Indiana, you weren't talking about Indiana this Christmas like a team that was going to be doing something this spring. They were hovering around 500. They were dealing with injuries. The schedule was really kicking them in the tail. They got better. And they got better when Tyrese started to play more consistent basketball. And Tyrese Haliburton playing consistently great that's a different team, and that's what you've seen. Indiana, if they played the last, you know, I was going to say from mid-January on, if they played like that all year, we're talking about a team that they probably threatened 60 wins. They're probably a top 2 seed in the East, and we're probably not treating them like the little engine they could. We're probably treating them like the team that they are, which is a team that was in the conference finals back-to-back years and a team that is one win away from the NBA Finals. So if Tyrese was underrated or overrated, Tyrese can look at that and say, hey, look, like, I'm really good, but there is more ceiling for him. And that is playing that way from the first month of the season until the last month of the season.
Joined by Law Murray of the Athletic Law. Real quick, because you're pulling back the curtain a bit without exposing all of your hand, how do you guys conduct that experiment as far as, because you say you talk to 20 players, is it just amongst your coverage, or is it throughout the season? Is it all at one time? Do you do it during 1 week? How do you go about getting some of those questions answered from that poll?
Man, the Athletic, we have a great team, man. So, like, we have so many great reporters and writers across the nation. And we get to a point in the season where we understand what storylines we want the players to speak on. And then we just hit it. I don't think that's a thing that again, I'm just speaking for how we do it, and how we do it might not be how we do it next year, stuff like that. But, we get to a point in the season where it's like, we know what the storylines are. We know what we want answers to from people who we want a large list of responses, and that's how we go about it.
Law Murray joining us of the Athletic. Law, let's turn to this offseason. The Kings got to make some moves, a lot of people think. What we're going to do with DeMar DeRozan is the fit there. I want to ask you about the Clippers, though, and some of the talent. Clippers came up short, lost in the first round, tough series with Denver. What are the Clippers' plans, you think, this offseason? Might they sell off some parts? A Derrick Jones Jr., a Norman Powell? Could somebody on that roster be on the move?
I don't see it, but I think Norman Powell is the most interesting name to me. I mean, the biggest free agent is James Harden, but I just feel like coming off of an All-NBA season, he's going to be back one capacity or another. He's got a player option. I feel like that relationship is going to continue. Norm played really well, especially going into the All-Star break. Like, Norman was very close to being an All-Star selection for the first time in his career. You just got a lot of factors where, do you extend him? Do you use his great season and his contract to improve the deficiencies in your roster? If the Clippers are going to part with Norm, for one, they got to know that they're going to be healthy as far as Kawhi Leonard goes. Norman was so good because the ball was coming to him. You didn't have Paul George. You didn't have Kawhi. James is going to need some help as a primary playmaker. Zubac hadn't, he had an outstanding year. He was very close to All-NBA, but like, you needed that perimeter threat, and Norm filled that role really well. You might need that going into next year because James is coming off of his heaviest workload in a season since he was in Houston. He stayed healthy, but you saw in the playoffs, he couldn't deliver 7 great games. So what do they do with Norm is going to be the big question for me. And I'm not sure that's a question that gets resolved by the start of the season.
I'll stay right there, Law. Is Kawhi dependable enough for the Clippers, the brass, the Bombers, the general manager? Do they believe Kawhi is dependable enough to move forward for the next couple of years?
I would say publicly, yeah. And privately, everyone respects Kawhi Leonard. They respect his ability and they respect his will to get the very most out of what his body is going to give him. The rub is right there, though. If the quiet part is out loud there, like, we know that Kawhi hasn't been able to complete full seasons. This past playoffs was the first time in 5 years that Kawhi was able to play all of the playoff games for the Clippers. If you're being reasonable about your expectations, you don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to play 65 games. Like, I don't think that's going to be a thing. It would be nice And even then, you're going into the playoffs like, is Kawhi going to be fully healthy and playing at his best after getting through that heavier season? Like Kawhi playing in the playoffs this year came after a regular season where he didn't debut until January. And so you have to kind of look at your roster and say, hey, James did a lot. Kawhi is a great player when he's available. Are you sure that James ain't going to fall off? Are you sure that Kawhi can play enough games to keep the Clippers in a good spot in the West? And even after all that, are you good enough to beat a playoff team? Something the Clippers haven't done now in any of the last 4 seasons. There's a lot of questions there. I think the Clippers want to just get through these years. Kawhi's got 2 years on his contract and maintain their flexibility for when they're able to get someone who might become available. And you've seen the landscape of the league over the last year. You just saw Luka get traded. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can be too comfortable. And the Clippers, I think the thing they feel the best about isn't necessarily, hey, we have James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, but to say we have Intuit Dome, a good coach, a stable organization, a chairman and Steve Ballmer who's going to do whatever it takes within the rules to do what needs to be done to, put the next best Clippers team together. They're going to pretty much say, hey, we're going to keep our powder dry in case somebody slip up.
Law Murray of The Athletic covers the NBA joining us. Law, when we look at the Kings roster this offseason, a lot of people point to DeMar DeRozan as a guy that, likely could be on the move. What do you think DeRozan's value is around the league?
I think it's tough, man. I think I like the contract that the Kings got him on, but a lot went down. Like, we're thinking De'Aaron Fox is going to be there. There was a real breakdown there. There's a breakdown with the head coach, breakdown with the front office. And now you're in a situation where DeMar is a player who, like, what do you do there? DeMar is good at what he's good at. I don't think the rest of the league is looking to try and snag DeMar like that. And so when you look at value and DeMar, I don't see a lot of scenarios where the Kings make out well in a deal for DeMar. Like, I think that I struggle to see a situation where the Kings get a better player than DeMar in that kind of a deal. So that's a struggle. And I know there's a new GM there now with Scott Perry, and there's what he said about Zach LaVine. Right. Like, that's the tough thing too. It's like, we were talking about the Clipper fan base was talking about Zach LaVine last year, and people were confused as to why his value would be so low. Like, he's a guy who can shoot and score, and when Zach is playing his best, that's aesthetically pleasing because of his athleticism and grace when he plays. And I'm like, it's not about Zach the player, it's about Zach the asset. Like, if you're having that on your team, and then this is what I was saying about Brunson and Haliburton, it's about what kind of players are fitting around them and what kind of team do you have around them. And then there's the fact that there's things you have to consider with age and durability. DeMar has been durable, but that dude is entering year 17 next year. Like, we see that there are some activity-related things that DeMar is starting to decline on a bit. Like, give the ball to DeMar. DeMar is going to take care of the ball, make good decisions, get to his mid-range, make that shot. But who does DeMar defend? You've had Keegan Murray having to defend the guys and chase them around, and you see how much that takes away from Keegan Murray's game. You don't have a point guard. If you get a point guard, what are they going to do? They got to get the ball to Zach, to DeMar, to Domantas Sabonis. You have so many issues there with so much talent. It's so confounding. And everyone in the league knows this. And that's what's going to make things hard for the Kings.
Law, last one for me, joined by Law Murray of The Athletic. I want to stay there and kind of compare. We're talking about DeMar's value. One of the teams that we have heard has been the Lakers. And you're right there in Los Angeles, even though you do a lot of covering of the league. You do a little, of course, you handle the Clippers. Do you see a fit for DeMar playing a part for the Lakers? Or, as you said, is it just difficult to see DeMar fitting at anywhere right now?
Absolutely not with the Lakers, unless LeBron does something crazy. And to what I can tell, LeBron ain't trying to give up no money. Like,
right.
Come on now. Again, we got to see what LeBron's next contract looks like. He's got a $52 million player option, but he's either picking that up or he's opting out, and he's not exactly opting out to give nobody a discount. You know what I mean? LeBron is trying to generate generational wealth here. You know, You're trying to do some things that folks don't really get to do at certain levels. So you got 2 years left on DeMar's contract. He's making around $25 million in both of them. You got to find a way. And the Lakers already have depth issues. So if you're going to keep Luka, if you're going to keep LeBron, I don't think the Lakers are like trying to give up Austin Reeves or somebody to get DeMar on their team. And DeMar doesn't fit. The Lakers already have too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will, as far as ball handlers. They need supplemental players. It's the same thing with the Kings. The Kings have a good problem, if you will, as far as, hey, they have guys to play through. What the Kings need is some depth and some dogs.
Law Murray joining us. Law, I'm going to let you go on with this question right here. You know, we're trying to figure out a path forward for Sacramento. We talked about DeMar DeRozan. We know Zach LaVine's contract. There's a segment of the fan base that says, tear it all down, tank, try to be OKC. What do you make of a team like Sacramento with established players looking to blow it up and tank and maybe going through a dark age once again, 3, 5, 6 years?
I don't think tanking is their best option. I mean, you look at this year, they lost their lottery pick because of the Kevin Huerter trade. You know, Kevin Huerter's not even on the team no more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't love where they're at. I think the Kings being competitive is pretty good. Like, you got Doug Christie now. He knows that's his job. He's not the interim head coach anymore. So I think that there's something there. If you can keep guys healthy, they're going to be tough to defend because they have interior scoring. They have guys who, honestly, that team shouldn't have issues turning the ball over. There's a pathway for them to build the margin to be competitive. Now, tanking requires you to be able to have the draft picks to tank and to be able to actually be in a spot where you can sit there and develop for 5 years, you know. And I'm just not sure that they have the assets to do that right now. They're going to have to get really creative, and I just don't think they're set up to do that. Also, you have to draft really well, and I think the Kings have had decent draft picks, but then keeping those guys has been an issue. So I don't see tanking in their future right now, especially with some of the guys on that team.
Law Murray joined us real quick. Law, too. One last, because I'm watching OKC and Minnesota set the tip off in about 50 minutes. Looking like we're going to have an OKC Indiana NBA Finals. Two small markets, but in terms of their basketball, I like the way both teams play. Is this an exciting matchup if it happens in the finals?
Absolutely. I mean, you asked the wrong person because I watch everybody, and I especially love trolling the people who act like they only care about the NBA when it comes to TV ratings and clout. So if you look, man, let's just be really real about it. The Golden State Warriors 10 years ago, they hadn't touched the finals, right? No one was talking about the Warriors like a glamour franchise. And then all of a sudden they get to a finals, they win. They have just not just a face like Steph Curry, but the way they played, like, it changed the conversation about how you look at Golden State, how you look at the Bay Area as a destination franchise in the NBA. And I'm not saying that's going to be an easier sell for Oklahoma City, but let's just be, them dudes is going to be here, and people need to recognize that. And as far as Indiana, like, I came to age in basketball in the 90s when Reggie Miller was going to work against the Bulls and the Knicks and all those teams. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals often. Your Orlando Magic, 1995 Eastern Conference Finals. Like, if you care about basketball, not just good players, but solid play, these teams don't play like everybody else, and they're good, and they have personalities. So if people want to focus on that, then we're going to have a great finals, I think, because there's a real clash of styles here. But if people want to act like they only care about, big markets, it's like, first of all, what are y'all even talking about? And second of all, just, we not entertaining that. There's going to be a good finals, even if it's a 5-game finals.
Law, where you from? Philly originally?
I am from Philly.
Did I know this? I'm a Philly guy too. I don't know if what part of Philly you from?
I went to Penn Central. I grew up right around the block from Overbrook High School.
Oh, you from over? Okay, I grew up in West Oak Lane, man. Mom and dad still out there. And tell me if you're going to sign up for this. I'm thinking of doing like a Philly symposium, if you will, because there's a lot of cats from Philly out here doing some big things. Me, you, Jabari out there, Keith Pompey. There's a number of guys from Philly. You signing up if I do this Philly sports symposium?
Yeah, I'd be there, man.
All right, my guy. Law Murray, you can follow him on social media. Law Murray, the NU. You can follow him on Twitter. Law, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, our boy Law Murray joining us here on The Drive, guys. After the timeout, we'll react to what Law said about DeMar DeRozan's trade value, the Kings' path forward. Plus, we'll get to your phone calls. People holding on right now, 916-339-1140. It's The Drive, guys, with Drapes and Jay on Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, when the A's broke their losing streak to finish the last homestand, it was a special day for Logan Davidson and Willie MacIver. Each guy got his first major league hit. And for MacIver, who grew up an A's fan, he drove in the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th inning and threw out the potential tying run to end the game. A storybook finish to a special afternoon. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke, like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRIVER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRIVER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code DRIVER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Drapes and Jay hanging out on a Wednesday here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacramento Kings announced another round of pre-draft workouts for tomorrow. See if anybody on this list jumps out to you guys out there. Brooks Barnheiser from Northwestern, 6'4", small forward. St. Thomas out of USC, 6'7", small forward. From Providence, Jrue Abdur-Rahim. Not to be confused with Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Jrue Abdur-Rahim, 6'6", shooting guard out of Providence. Stefan Todorovic from Pepperdine, a 6'8", small forward. Matt Cross of SMU, 6'6", power forward. And Tyson Degenhart from Boise State, 6'8", power forward. So the Kings busy, Jay. Meeting with potential second-round draft picks.
Got to do your due diligence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I see this would be is this second or third round? It's third round.
Third round.
Of gentlemen coming to Sacramento and working out for the squad. Like to see it, love to see it. We'll see how it all shakes out.
916-339-1140. That's how you talk to us. We just had Law Murray of The Athletic on, and I asked him about DeMar DeRozan and his trade value. And what he said stood out to me. He said, I don't see the Kings getting a better player out of the deal. Meaning, we're either trading, if we do decide, DeMar for young player and picks, perhaps, or a contract and some picks. Maybe a guy you don't even keep, if you will. And so as we talk about all these players and all these trade proposals, I think Kings fans, we got to be realistic about our assets. I'm talking about Ja Morant, Zion. I might be too much big fish game hunting out there, Jay.
Think so?
I don't know if we have the assets.
To the guppy pool?
We might have to go to the guppy pool. Yeah. Fish for some crappies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
a little bluegill.
Yeah, a little bluegill, right? Because I don't think when you look at, and Law said it, DeMar's value, not that high. Can't imagine Zach's is that high with the contract. DeMontis, you could argue with his contract, 40-something, 43 million, I think he's said to me. And so I don't know if we have the pieces to go out there and make some of the big time moves that we want.
Got to get creative. No doubt about it. The other thing too, Drapes, is, too many times when we are talking about trades, it's always the person who makes the trade is getting the best out of the trade. We get the best assets, the best deal. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. And Law kind of said it, and I think he puts it in the forefront. You might have to take someone who's not as good as DeMar and this is why I always go back to what you say, is a distressed asset. Someone that technically on paper doesn't fit the bill of the DeMar name.
Right.
DeMar's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
When he leaves basketball, he will go into the Naismith Hall of Fame some point in time post his career. The person that you get back in return for DeMar might not be that person right now. They might have a little, bad blood, or a little, maybe young, or maybe it's only a 1-year deal. They're left, maybe they only have 1 year left on their deal. It's going to be a distressed asset unless you just, Scott Perry is the man and he can swing it. He can do, create magic, but I think you have to get creative. You need to get creative, and you need to get an understanding of what direction you're going in. And that's something that, as of right now, they're still getting the house in order.
Right.
So they haven't chosen the direction. And if they have, we haven't been presented it yet.
Right.
They haven't presented that to us. So we'll start to know when a move or two starts to fall. We'll start to know when we see the league start to move. Right now, it's just quiet.
Everything, yeah. Everything's quiet. And, something I mentioned yesterday, and they echoed it on the ESPN today, we got to see what's happening with Giannis.
He's first.
And KD.
He's first.
It's Giannis first, then KD, and then other deals can be had.
No doubt.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Javier. I'm sure he has a potential trade for us regarding the Kings. Javi, what do you got for us today, man?
How you doing, Mr. Draper? Today, I had two things that I want to comment on first. Before I hope you give me some rope for how long I was on for. First thing, the problem that the Kings had, it's not about the Haliburton trade bad now. It's because they built up a machine and didn't put the arms and legs in after they put the machine together. If the Kings would have put some wings on the perimeter and a solid rim protector, the Sabonis trade wouldn't look bad. You built up a machine and built the body of it, and it said, all right, we're good. No, you don't have the arms, you don't have the legs, you have the fingers and the toes, you don't have the arms and the legs. That's why the Sabonis trade looks worse in 2025 than it did in 2022. What the Pacers do, they built around Tyrese Haliburton. They got him a Siakam. They had a good draft. They made sure to keep Miles Turner. They got Aaron Naismith, etc. They got pieces, and they built around him. The Sabonis Haliburton trade was good. Monte McNair and Wes Wilcox sat on their hands, and people didn't like Wilcox. And Vivek started meddling in the latter part of last season, or middle part of last season. That's why the Sabonis deal looks bad in 2025. In retrospect, it's not a bad deal, and it's still not. But the Kings didn't finish the job. They didn't give Sabonis what he needs the way Haliburton has been given the aspects and the resources he needs to have the success. Whether he's a better player or not, the trade was not bad. The Kings didn't do what they needed to finish the deal. Secondly, no disrespect to your man, but from L.A., who gave up 9 first-round picks and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George in L.A., the best that never played. I don't know how they're going to say that we don't know how to more or less gauge and value trade assets, because that was a team that could never get over the hump. And at the end of the day, like, they're a team that's trying to hold on by the grimace of Kawhi Leonard's kneecaps. But my trade proposal is this. Kawhi Leonard is a prime example of a player like DeMar DeRozan who has trade value in a vacuum. But a guy like RJ Barrett, who on this radio station has been the third option in Toronto. No, he's actually their number one lead scorer, 21.1 points a game. Second assist, 5.4 assists. But guess what? He's opposing the trade market. Why we go get a player like him? He's quote unquote at this time a lesser player than DeMar in his overall talent, but a guy that who drafted RJ Barrett? Scott Perry. Who gave RJ Barrett his 4-year, $100 million contract? Scott Perry. You give the Toronto Raptors, let DeMar go, try to hit Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes get over that hump to get to the playoffs. Give him and our 2027 first-round pick without Levine deal, and even though those second-round picks that are now available, that the Kevin Huerter first-round pick is now being conveyed to Atlanta with DeMar.
So, Javier, hold on real fast to slow you down. My question to you is this. You pick up the phone and you say you want to send DeMar back to me. Even if you say, hey, listen, buy him out. He's got 2 more years at $50 million combined, a little more. Hey, do what you got to do, figure it out. Knowing that we have bad blood, knowing that it didn't end properly, knowing that Masai Ujiri and DeMar don't really coincide with each other, what do you believe me, meaning Toronto, what do you think I'm going to ask you for?
Well, what you're saying is more or less the overall rapport has been diminished to the point of no return with him going back to Toronto.
Well, I think it is. I think we can all agree on that. I think Masai Ujiri has pretty much said that. I think we know that if he goes back, it's just basically for a buyout situation. So knowing that I'm getting ready to go to my ownership group and say, hey, listen, it's going to take close to 40, 45. It's going to take some big money to get this guy out of his deal, or we're going to have to spin him. What do you think I'm asking you for back? The Kings.
Man, if I'm asking for that, I think that the Kings can get, in my estimation, I think the Kings can give up, I said, a first-round pick and 2 seconds. The picks they got in the pick they got in the Levine deal, along with the 2 second-round picks they'll have at their disposal now that the Kevin Huerter trade has now conveyed that pick to Atlanta, like I was saying previously, and that works.
So let me ask you again, Javier. What behind that? Do you think RJ Barrett? And you may be answering it. I'm just trying to simplify for other people who are listening. Do you believe 1 draft pick, first draft pick, 2 seconds, DeMar, which I'm getting ready to have to pay out,
right?
Gets really RJ Barrett over. Yeah, I don't want DeMar.
And this is why I was going to finish is that if it's at the point of no return, which I was now enlightened on, so thank you, Mr. J. There are a plethora of teams that will give the Toronto Raptors, from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Miami Heat to even the Los Angeles Clippers, maybe the Dallas Mavericks, that will give them a 1, if not 2 role player designation of players they send to Toronto to make that deal prevalent. But what I'm trying to say is they are not in a position to want to continue to build around RJ Barrett as a key cog, where not only they're going to want to pay him for the last 2-3 years of the deal, they're not going to want to give him an extension. But why I'm saying why these connect the dots fit is because who paid RJ
Scott
Barrett?
Perry.
Who drafted
him.
RJ Barrett?
Scott Perry.
You can't. What I'm saying is DeMar DeRozan, what we've learned, even with, I'll credit your source, the last caller, is that we're not going to get a primetime level player, but we can get a guy 10 years younger that's somewhat similar to his skill set. But RJ Barrett is a point forward. He can handle the ball. He's big enough to play the small forward, but he's at 26 years old, at a 4-year at $100 million contract. That's a nice clip compared to his productivity. He's at 21.1 a game, 5.4 assists per game.
21, 6, and 5.
Hey, we know the stats, Javier.
21, 6, and 5.
Appreciate the call, Javier. I got to let you go. You know, I've been on record. I came on the show yesterday and said, RJ Barrett is first team all Drake.
Yeah, you love him.
Sign me up.
You liked him before last year.
I've been RJ Barrett since he came out.
And he's growing on me a little bit. But I think, and this is where I'm asking Javier, because Javier, one thing I have to give Javier is he's educated. He does the research. He does the legwork. I asked that in the form of, and it really just comes down to this, Drake. So now I ask you, and we can answer it on the other side. Is RJ Barrett gettable for 1 first and some role players, or not? Because even Javier, and I'm just leaning on what Javier said because he brought it up today. I just think RJ has a lot more value than I think we're giving value to who he is. But I could be wrong, and we'll see. I just think you're going to have to give up more than one first-round draft pick, a couple of twos, someone you're going to have to buy out, and a third team, which is what Javier was talking about, a third team throwing in a Rui Hachimura, a Dallas throwing in a Gafford. I could be wrong. But I think RJ has showcased that he is not a superstar. He could be an all-star, maybe. But I think he is just what Javier said. He's a point forward. He's going to give you a dub. He's going to give you 6. He's going to give you 5. Like, he's going to stat stuff for you. And he's not hurt. He's always there. And he's super young. He still probably has a little more growth to make. Right. I'm not sure Toronto is in the market for that unless, and I say it one more time, third time, I could be wrong, unless they're saying, you know what, we're going to tear it all down. And they kind of done it, but I thought they're kind of looking for the next piece to take them to the next step.
Right. I'm going to answer your question coming up, Jay. How much would it take to get RJ Barrett? Is a first, some role players, in a couple of seconds enough to get it done? I'll answer that question and more. 916-339-1140. You can hit us up. It's the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Appreciate Lowell Murray coming on last hour. Our boy Javier just weighed in with a potential trade. RJ Barrett coming to Sacramento for DeMar, a first and 2 seconds. Jay, you asked before the break, and we'll get back to the phone lines, 916-339-1140 in a second. You asked before the break about RJ Barrett's value. a first, some role players, maybe a couple seconds. I think it's higher than that. I think you're talking about a 21 point per game scorer who can handle the rock, facilitate an offense, can score at a high level, and he's 25. If he was 33, okay. But teams aren't just giving away 25-year-olds, are they?
I don't think so. Could be. Hey, who knows? But you don't tend to see 25-year-olds be given away.
I'm on SI.com, and let's see who this is. Aaron Rose, May 27th, yesterday, did a mailbag. He's one of those local,
guys.
Not necessarily dialed in per se.
Sure.
But he was asked, with the amount of wings we have, would it be wise to trade RJ Barrett?
Right.
He says, if the Raptors trade one of their starters this offseason, I'd bet it on it being RJ Barrett. He's the most replaceable with what's already on the roster. There's also a financial angle. A Barrett trade might be about trimming salary more than anything else, which usually leads to a disappointing return. Okay. But if there's a legitimate upgrade available at his spot, I'd absolutely be open to it. And I think that's where our issue is. Because I'm a big RJ Barrett fan. I'd love to get him. But you said it. Masai and DeMar ain't singing Kumbaya and Ubuntu and all that. You know? And so I think that's a pipe dream.
Strictly business if that's to happen.
Yeah, that's strictly business. What we haven't really talked about is a third team maybe facilitating.
Which was what Javier brought up.
Javier brought up.
Love on that.
Yeah, maybe get Orlando in the mix. Maybe Orlando wants DeMar. Maybe Orlando sends to Toronto an Anthony Black, a Cole Anthony, or who knows what the package may be. And so as we look around the league, I don't know how many one-for-one scenarios I see happening with us. Like, I think it's not just I think it's going to be more complicated than that.
I agree. I think because of, and we have, insiders and reporters and analysts and beat reporters come on our show all the time. It's the reason why we get guys on to have these conversations, because it's just not about what we think. It's about what the NBA circles are also talking about. Right. I think the issue with the Kings are the assets that we have that we're prepared to give up, relinquish, aren't romanticized by other organizations.
Yeah.
And the tough part with me for DeMar, I love DeMar. I like what he brings to the table. I'm not in the boat of getting rid of DeMar. I've never been the guy to say, you got to get rid of DeMar to get something. DeMar's not the guy that I'd be looking at. He would be someone I would keep. But I also have said DeMar may say,
right,
this ain't it for me. I might want to leave. I'm in the twilight of my career. I have a few more, great games in me, and I'm looking for something else than a rebuild or a reset or a not clear plan, which is kind of right now. We don't know what the clarity of this plan is for the Sacramento Kings is.
Right.
So if DeMar comes out and says, love you, Sac, got all the love for y'all, but it's time for me to move on, then I'll start to entertain the DeMar conversation.
Right.
But because this is our job, I entertain that conversation. So I want to make sure that's out there.
Right. This is
I'm not
the
in
job.
the mode.
We're not in the mode of
trading DeMar.
Yeah,
I think there's some other assets we can look to try to move. That's me.
I think this last season, DeMar did everything he was supposed to do here in Sacramento.
I'm with you.
He was A-OK. I give DeMar an A if I was giving out grades, and maybe I'll do that at some point. Great grades from this last season.
It is finals week. Last week and this week. Come on now.
Yeah.
So I get that, and I understand there are a lot of fans who are like Javier, who are looking at it and looking at the assets we have on paper, and DeMar is one of those movable assets. As Javier said, The contract's not that huge. He's still DeMar out. And this is what I always look at. Can you outplay the money that you're being paid? DeMar outplays the money that he's being paid. And he has the cachet, the name. The only problem for me with DeMar is he has so much cachet, Drapes, that I think he's the type of guy that the league and it sounds crazy because people say, oh, man, it's a business. They traded Luka. I get it. Totally understand. But we're in two different situations. DeMar is on his way out. He's closer to the checker flag than the green flag.
Right.
I think DeMar has respect around the league to say, you're going to trade me to Utah? Oh, no. I'm not even. And if you are, then we're all, my guys, the brothers, and they're already talking about buying out, as agents, right? The Goodwin brothers.
Yeah,
they're already talking about buying out. I'm not staying here. And so to say that you're going to send DeMar back to Toronto right now?
Come on, man.
And mean, the whole country's against DeMar right now. It just, because of the Kendrick and the K-Dot, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But I had not thought of the fact of, like you said, Orlando coming in and say, well, we'll make something work.
Right.
We'll make something work.
Exactly. 916-339-1140. I'm looking at the text line. Our boy Ramsey says RJ Barrett is too soft for me. Never been a fan of his. Somebody from the 530, get this, Jay. RJ Barrett is the essence of Kangs. Low ceiling, high floor, overpaid for 4 years. We need to covet first moving forward. If we're dealing first, it needs to be for bigger upside and salary control. I'm watching Miles McBride in these conference finals and feeling like he's the type of guy that checks boxes for us. Deuce McBride.
Yeah. Well, to each their own. I do understand what he's saying. I'm not the biggest RJ Barrett guy.
Yeah.
But I do understand he's 25 and he probably has a little more to give. I'm not exactly sure where that lands him at the end of at the end of his career, or even when he's 30. But we'll start to see some of these assets and how they're evaluated. I'd be very interested to see how RJ Barrett's value is evaluated.
Right.
Because I think you're going to get more than one first round draft pick and, a few role players. I don't know what Toronto's trying to do. I think they're another team that's figuring out what their next move is. What's their next step? And is Scotty Barnes really a superstar? Is he? We know he's an all-star, but can you build around him, or do you need someone that's better than him?
I think they view him that way, and they got Ingram too,
right?
So DeMar wouldn't even fit there. Why are we even talking about that? Wouldn't even fit.
Which
doesn't make sense.
It's a buyout situation.
Yeah.
Barrett.
Somebody from our boy Folsom Mike weighed in. Why do we always assume we are moving DeMar? I think only championship caliber teams would want him. Our most likely guy is Monk. He didn't fit in, and his potential is great. Yet we never talk about moving him. Why?
No, I think we've had that conversation. He, meaning Malik, could be on the blocks. Let me say this, Drapes, because I know we're going to talk to him. And this is something we could continue tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to talk
I think we have all, meaning the drive guys, I can't speak on that. I think Carmichael Dave has. I think everyone has assessed the situation in the form of this. We all have favorites. We all like different players. I'm the first person to say, if it's me, there's not a person on the Sacramento Kings right now that I wouldn't take a conversation or a call on.
Right. Nobody's untouchable.
No one's untouchable, because I believe it's nothing against any player down there. I believe to win in this league, we talked about Ty Haliburton today. We talk about SGA. We talk about Jokic. There's a reason we talk about stars. You have to have the star. However you can acquire that, do it. I'm not saying it's easy, Drapes. By all means, I'm not saying it's easy. But I'm going to do anything to get the star first.
Right.
And I'll move the pawns and everything else around my queen and king the rooks and everything else until I can get a team that we can move forward with. But I'm open to talking about
anybody. I'm with you. We're going to continue this conversation tomorrow. I mean, this ain't going nowhere. It's a conversation that's going to last until we get something done.
Yeah, until a move is made.
Exactly. Coming up next, the wide receiver coach, quality control coach for Sacramento State football. Used to be my personal workout trainer.
Well, hold on.
Oh, is he? See?
Wait a minute. You about to give him a 5-star.
I was.
He just texted me a picture. He said, I'm still in the meeting. See what coaches do?
You see what I'm talking? Lim is my guy, but I was going to have Lim Adams on of Sac State. We'll try to get him. He's in a meeting right now, but coming up, we got more Kings talk as well. Is RJ Barrett the guy? Is there somebody else out there? We'll discuss that next. It's Drapes and Jay on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Nice Delta breeze Wednesday evening. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s Thursday morning. Light winds and strong sun means we're back in the 90s Thursday afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
Made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Gio Urshela was replaced on defense due to a hamstring injury. He will be placed on the 15-day injured list with no timetable to return. JT Ginn, out with that strained right quad, felt discomfort in that area, and the team is hopeful he can keep his arm in shape while the injury heals. There also is no timeline for his return. This injury update was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
I got to get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was easy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively the Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here with Drapes and JS, the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, just minutes away from tip-off between OKC and Minnesota. Game 5, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP. I will say this, Jay. Watching OKC, they do it right in the stands, though. Everybody putting on the T-shirts. Tonight they got different color sections. Like one section's blue, the next white, then it's blue, then it's white. Like, they do it right. The atmosphere, the excitement. And as I watch OKC and I saw the games in Minnesota, I'm imagining what it would be like in Sac.
Oh.
Come on, man.
I mean, you seen it?
I seen it. That was first round, bro. That was first round. I saw it.
Man, come on.
And everybody always asks me. I did a podcast with some young kid the other day.
Give it a shout out, man. Shout it out.
Yeah, let me.
Is it out yet?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
It's a school project. My guy Dan back on the East Coast.
Okay.
He back there in Rhode Island. Goes to Rhode Island. And he asked me my favorite broadcasting memory. And I said, Game 1, Kings Warriors.
Really?
Loud. I mean, it was among covered NBA Finals, Game 7, Lakers, Celtics. That's hard to top. But in terms of just the energy, seeing LeBron drop 45 in Boston, Game 6. But Game 1, Kings Warriors, I will always remember. That will always be at the top.
Wow.
Because what I remember about that series, and shout out to Mike Bibby, too. I sent this. This was the anniversary of his big shot. What was that? Game 6?
23 years ago.
Yeah. 20 back in 2002, 23 years ago. Shout out to him. But what I remember about that series and the Kings making the playoffs, it wasn't just the 17,000 plus in the arena. It wasn't just the organization, the coaches and players. It was the entire community. For the first time, I saw Sacramento Kings flags flying from cars.
Dang.
I'm driving down to Golden State for Game 6. And I'm seeing Kings flags driving down with me on the highway.
That's dope.
Rolling down the window, waving at them and everything like that. That series, Game 1, that series, my proudest moment here in Sacramento so far. Because I felt the years of frustrations being lifted off our backs.
For sure.
And so as I watch OKC battle, Minnesota, there's nothing I want more to see this franchise up because this fan base deserves it. Termini on Eddie Johnson's show earlier compared us to Indiana Pacers fans. They say Sacramento got a great fan base. We do. And I think because the organization and the team has struggled, a generation of sports fans don't understand. I remember 2002, Jay.
Yeah.
I remember early 2000s, late 90s, Sacramento Kings. Arco, the loudest place in the league.
In the building, man.
And I'm living out in Philly at the time. I remember all this. Kids these days, fans these days, they don't get to understand what Sacramento is.
Yeah. You get a pinch of it. Just a dabble.
Yeah.
Just a dabble of it. You're right. Sacramento at its height, and I'm not talking in past tense. I'm saying because I think it's going to happen. It's inevitable. One day it will. Lord willing. Look, the Red Sox won a championship. The Cubs won a championship. Something has to give one day, right? And who knows? But at its height, it's tough. It's tough for anyone to say that they don't enjoy the entertainment, the fun, the atmosphere that Sacramento brings as a sports town. It is one of a kind. It definitely is. And you have had plenty of opportunities. Like you said, playoffs, Game 7s, LeBron.
Yep.
Sacramento has its own identity. And that's why it's difficult. That's why it's tough when, we consistently every single day talk about what it could be, not what it is.
Right.
It's super tough, Drapes.
Who did we have on? I think it was Tim Roy when he talked about how Golden State was a sleeping giant that was ready to pop. And it did with Curry. and he likened it to Sacramento. We're sleeping. We're ready. This city is ready to blow.
Oh,
the people are ready.
Definitely.
And so I'm hoping Scott Perry, Doug, they're the right people to lead us. I'll say this too. What I need to see from the players, whether it's Domas, Malik, Zach, DeMar, I don't care who it is. The way I'm feeling and talking about Sacramento right now, getting goosebumps on my arms, getting emotional, I need those dudes to feel it too. I need those dudes to ride for Sac when they step on the floor. And I think that's what Doug's trying to get them to do. But I don't want them to just be basketball players. And this is one of the issues I have right now. And shout out to Malik Monk. Malik stuck around after the season.
No doubt.
He out here golfing.
He getting it in.
He getting it in.
Yeah.
A lot of players, next day, I'm out of there.
Yeah, I'm in Cabo, man.
Right.
I'm Bali.
Right.
Maldives.
Maldives, yeah. I want the guys to feel connected to the community. Not that they just play basketball here, but this is their city.
Drapes, I'll say this. I think it comes organic because that's who you are. That's how you have ingratiated yourself into the community. You out and about. You putting on for Sac. You adopted Sacramento as a second or third home. You know, Boston may be your second. Depending. Seattle, you've been a few different places. It's on your radar. It's harder for me to think that players can do that because there's so much movement and, gone are the days of, and as you were talking, I was thinking, I'm like, the bad boys.
Right.
They were Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those guys, and you go and look at the documentary, those guys cried when Mohorn left.
Yeah.
Now you push up to the greatest show on court, the Sacramento Kings. I remember Coach Doug Christie saying, he's like, dude, I cried when I got that phone call. I was hurt that I had to be traded. Jay Will talks about it. Man, I had more to give. I knew we were on the precipice of doing something special. It takes those type of characters and players and people to want to do those things. And that's why we talk about, RJ Baird. We talk about bringing in Isaac Okoro. I see somebody talking about, we talk about bringing in Dean Wade and McBride and all those type of things. It takes a deep dive into who these cats really are, who these people really are. And that's why when I talk about, to go back earlier in the show, when I talk about the misses for the Sacramento Kings, Dame is that dude. He still lives, eats, breathes Portland.
Yeah.
And
he a Bay Area K,
come on now.
Come on. It's home for him, basically.
There it is. It's the Bay, the town always gonna be his home. You can't take home away from anybody. But his adopted home is Rose City. It's Portland.
Still go back through camps.
His camp is in Portland right now. I just saw it a couple days ago.
Yep.
That he is Portland. So it takes guys like that, to move the needle. And I will say this. I'm excited because I know the quality. I know who Coach Christie is. I know the quality. I know who Coach Jackson is, B-Jack is. I don't know Coach Woodson, but I know he's an NBA guy. I don't know Scott Perry, but I know he's respected. He's an NBA guy. I don't know B.J. Armstrong, but I know he's respected. He's an NBA guy. So I'm hoping, and they've been successful. They've won the championship, meaning B.J. Armstrong. You have Scott Perry putting these Knicks together. He's won championships with the Pistons. He knows what it takes to find those people that you're talking about, Drapes. So I'm hoping that that's where they go, even if it means the next year or two, there's not a winning factor to it.
Right.
I'm not sure, how fans react to that. I'm not sure, because you can't continuously keep asking Kings fans to be patient, man. You just can't.
I got one final thought on that coming up after the timeout. And we're going to get to 10, who's been hanging on as well. The final segment of the drive, guys. I'm going to send you out, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're driving home, you're listening at work or whatever. I'm going to send you with Drape's final message of the day. That's coming up next here on The Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Typically, a high handicapper carries an index of 20 or more. Golf Monthly's Barry Plummer offers 4 tips if you're tired of that high handicap. First, choose the right equipment. Invest in a 5-wood, which is more forgiving than a 3-wood or a 3 hybrid. It's a much better option for getting the ball in the air. Second, play for bogey on par 5s. Break the longer holes into manageable chunks, perhaps aiming to hit the green with 4 easy swings while also navigating away from the trouble along the way. 3, leave the sand wedge in the bag for chipping. Up and down percentages are almost twice as good when chipping a 9-iron over a sand wedge, and 3.5 times better with the putter. And finally, stop leaving your putts short. A 20 handicapper leaves 55% of their missed putts short of the hole. Give yourself a chance with every attempt and don't leave another putt short. Try these simple tips and let's see whether your handicap starts to come down. And have some fun out there. That'll help too. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
Memorial Day savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,500 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado Turbo Max in stock. And Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections of new Silverado in the Sacramento area. $12,500 off new Silverado. Exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Spring 2011 remaining. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Memorial Day savings are heating up at Lowe's. Right now, select paint, primer, and stains, or buy one, get one 50% off via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $20. These deals won't be here long, so start shopping now. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Final segment of The Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140, Drapes and Jay. Thanks for hanging with us this afternoon. Beautiful Wednesday out in the city of Sacramento. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick today. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. Sure, he's on the couch checking us out, listening, missing us right now.
Hopefully he's eating some ice cream. What's today? Oh, today's Wednesday. If I say he has Thursday ice cream.
Oh, it's Thursday ice cream day? Thursday. I didn't have any last night, and I went home and just wasn't feeling it yesterday.
Did little Miss Quinn?
Nope, she didn't have it either.
Okay.
Nick did, but Quinn Well, Quinn went to Sunsplash yesterday.
Oh, she was tired.
She was tired.
Worked her out.
She probably had some snacks and candy and
doubt.
everything there. So she wasn't feeling it. Yes, she didn't even ask for ice cream yesterday. Might have some tonight, though. Might have some tonight. 916-339-1140. Coming up in just a minute, because we were just talking about, nice alley-oop, SGA to Hartenstein, 7-3 OKC over Minnesota. We were just talking about just being ingrained in the city, riding for the city if you're a player, and how that's what I want to see from Zach, Malik, whoever it may be. I want them to feel the love from the fan base. It's one thing, Jay, to feel it in January when you're going to a home game, everybody cheering. It's another, like we saw back when they ended the drought, the emotions, how much it meant to people. And that's what Doug tried to tell these guys and show these guys when he took them up on the roof. Explain to them that they're the light of the city. When the Kings are up, the psyche of the city is better. We rolling around with our chest out. We talking smack. We like, say what? When we waxed the Warriors first game, they couldn't tell us nothing. And we need to get that back. So I have Drape's final word of the day, final message of the day coming up in just a little bit. Let's get to the phone lines, Jay. 916-339-1140. 10, the wheel of 10. He's been hanging on. What's up, 10? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
Hey, yo, what up? Hey, a few years back when Tyrese, he had a day game in Sac, and I showed up. I got close to where they were doing a pregame shoot-around. And Tyrese, he was with the kids, but he didn't go to me. But I expected him to walk over and be like, hey, some sort of that. I was pretty close, and I believe they were there to specifically, see him do the thing. And it was a meet and greet type of deal. So I was like, okay, let me be the big kid in the theater, try to scoot in, try to get my, get my little shine, and hopefully he blew me up. But that's how I knew he was a dog, because he focused on what was important at hand. He's like, man, I don't care about this dude right here. Okay, he's interested in me, but I was left of feeling a little bit disconnected, although I understand it now where his mind frame was. And he's gone on now to do all these little great things into bigger things, Olympic, and now he's back here doing historic things for the NBA. And he's just really putting out, and I'm just so proud to say that he started off here. And so this organization can build up winners, and we've seen it in front of our eyes. And thanks for taking my call, man. Hey, have a great rest of the Wednesday.
All right, 10, thanks so much. Boy, 10, hollering at Tyrese. Tyrese egged him. Said, nah, I'm dealing with these young kids. But 10 brought up a good point, Jay. And, Jay, I don't know if you got my music or not. It's been a while since we've had a Drapes Takes. But I need my music.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
We can call this Drapes Takes, or we could call it Drape's final message of the day. But I'm going to look directly here in the YouTube camera, Sacktown Sports 1140, and say this, because 10 brought up a great point. We were talking about having the players connected to the community, having the players ride for Sac. I thought that's what Tyrese was going to do. Tyrese was happy to be from Sac, proud to be a Sacramento King, and we let it go. So as we go forward, Scott Perry, as we go forward, Doug Christie, Vivek Ranadive, I think how we get that love for Sac, two ways. One, we draft a player. We mold a player. De'Aaron Fox, for example, he was happy to be in Sac for the longest, and then he wasn't. His time had come. But from an organizational standpoint, whether it's drafting a player, trading for a player, or signing a player, what we need to do here in Sacramento, Jay, I was listening to Big Perk the other day talk about when he when he played for OKC. First thing they did, they took him to the federal bombing site, Edward Murrow bombing site out there in OKC. Took the team out there, took the players, took them around the community. That's what we need to do here in Sacramento. Because I don't know if these players understand what Sacramento is really about, Jay. And I'm not dissing them or anything. It's just they haven't been taught. I think Malik does because he's out in them streets to an extent. You know, Keegan's at the golf courses a little bit. But a lot of times, these guys are just holed up in their spots playing video games. We need to get these guys out in the street, in the community, Jay. I'm in Boston. One of the first things the Celtics do, we taking a field trip to the Children's Hospital.
Gotcha.
We visiting the sick kids. We going to Dorchester. We going to Jamaica. We going to the neighborhoods. Holding camps. We not telling the people to come to us, Jay. We going out to where the people are. And so if we're trying to get the organization and the players to ride for Sac, that's what we got to do. Don't tell them, come to our camps. Junior Kings Clinic. Come to the games. You know what I'm doing, Jay? I'm holding the camp right here at 9th and Q. I'm holding the camp, you know, wherever the courts are. That's where I'm at. If I'm the Kings, and if I'm Scott Perry, and I'm going to do lunch with Scott in a couple weeks, we have to get the players to be invested in riding and dying for Sacramento. Winning at home, Jay. Lighting the beam. I feel like over the last 2 seasons, they're not taking pride in that. Look at our home record the last couple of years, Jay. Come on, man. It's Sacramento. And so when you say, Drapes, well, you're out in the streets, you know, because I feel the people. I'm not holed up in the house by myself playing video games, counting millions. I'm out there in the local restaurants, in the clubs, in the bars, at the grocery store.
Counting millions,
but I'm still out there. Now, you killed me. But that's what I'm saying. It should be a prerequisite, Scott Perry and the Kings, to get these guys out in the community so they can touch the community and feel what it means to be a Sacramento King fan. That's my final word of the day, Jay. I'm out of here. We got Kevin Whitey Gleason back tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks for riding with us. Coming up next, Infinity Radio here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly